And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pinnacle Cup. Big shout out to Kremer and M&J, of course, for taking over the first half of the show today. Now, we, the Eternal J, and my co-commentator Dwega here to take you through the last couple of games here of our round of 12 action here in the playoffs. What has been a long and arduous tournament will now look to come to its head in the next couple of days here. And, well, Dwega, we've got some pretty standard, I guess you can say, teams involved in this playoff bracket. We've already seen a number of them make their way forward in the round of 12 action, and with two more matches to go, these teams could be in for a bit of a surprising kind of events today.
Yeah, normally you do get a lot of the surprises in the main Swiss, but also in the round of 12, you get some pretty decent matchups. And we're getting into a bit of a position now where we had to say goodbye to a couple of teams, but now, two more to go, we've got to see who's going into the quarters.
We've already said goodbye to the likes of Mouse NXT, who just saw get eliminated by Copenhagen Flames a moment ago, and the Young Ninjas side. So not a great day for the Academy teams across the European scene, but hopefully it's going to be a bit more of a better day for the teams involved in our next couple of matches. And our next couple of matches will be SKADE versus Entropiq, as we bring you up to speed with how the current bracket does look. Of course, you can look at that lower end of the screen. And, well, we say first of all, the matchup that we'll have a little bit later on today, Ends versus Harvu. The battle of the Finnish organization, and not necessarily the Finnish teams involved in that one, but that one could be very interesting given the issues that Harvu have had as of late with their roster swaps. But again, our first matchup will be focusing on SKADE versus Entropiq. Two teams that have had their own individual moments and their own individual big tournaments, especially in the case of Entropiq, who in history have been proven to be one of these teams that are starting to move up the rankings when it comes to Tier 2.
Yeah, they are. They are a dominant force, and they are one team that you can never overlook because they always come and deliver. They always put on a class and showing, and to know that they potentially are playing Forza in that next round if they can beat SKADE today kind of gets me excited for that quarterfinal matchup. But diving a little bit deeper into this one in tow for Entropiq, they're a top 20 team in the world. They've proven themselves that they can go toe-to-toe against Tier 1 opposition, go have some really deep runs. The difference I see between the two teams is that Entropiq, they have the runs, but they don't win championships like SKADE do.
That has been the sort of thing that's really been eluding them, I think. I think they've had a bit more of a consistent showing overall by comparison to SKADE. I think the main issue is the fact that, as you mentioned, they haven't been able to get those trophies that I think they've been entitled to. Maybe this tournament could be the one to really get them get them the trophy that they've really been looking for before we head into that player break. And I think that if they're able to get the Pinnacle Cup victory under wraps, then that could be everything towards them. I think this team are overdue some invitation spots to the top 8 as opposed to going through the Swiss systems and such, because they really are that good. I'm not sure how much of that is grinding them down, but in terms of the potential of this roster, they can go so far as to I think compete at Tier 1 tournaments.
It's going to take some time for them to get there because, again, you've got a lot of tough competition in this Tier 2 scene. Another one to look at is SKADE. Both of these teams are number 1 and number 2 in the world, Jay, for most maps being played in the last 3 months. These two teams grind hard.
Indeed, they do. In SKADE, they have come out on top in several occasions. You mentioned, obviously, that they've won some championships. They've been competing in the Eliza Invitational, which they were able to go so far as to get the victory for. They've also top-8'd in the Snow Sweet Snow and Spring Sweet Spring tournaments and such. So they've had their own great individual moments in previous history. So they've had their moments in the sun, and they've also found some championships, which again is the main thing I think that has eluded them over in the case of the Entropiq side. So in terms of the highs that they can hit, SKADE definitely have the bigger ceiling, but the issue I think comes down to, can they hit that bigger ceiling by comparison to Entropiq, who are pretty consistent of their own right? Well, Matt Vito's coming up on screen here, Dwayne, to sort of see where we can get the first couple of wins on the board when it comes to this head-to-head, Dwayne. What kind of maps do you expect to see between these two teams?
Yeah, we know SKADE don't mind a bit of Vertigo, so coming straight in. Overpass as well, decent map for Entropiq. Not really too many surprises when it comes to the early portion. Ancient being banned out, Mirage as well, so it will mean Dust 2 goes into that finale. And I do look at Dust 2, and Entropiq they do pick it from time to time. So at least with the back end of that veto, it does look pretty comfortable for the Russian side.
Well, they pick it from time to time, but they definitely play it a lot. It's their highest played map in the entire pool in the last few months. So I look at that and I think to myself that they've definitely got a decent veto in that respect. Not certain about the Vertigo pick. I think that they can probably struggle on that one. Not a map that they play all that often. Overpass seeming like a very confident sort of set from them. It seems like Overpass is a big Russian map as of late. We know that Gambit were pioneering that map when they were competing in the Tier 2 space, and it feels like the Entropiq just following in those footsteps in quite a lot of literal ways. So I look at this video and I think that honestly, Entropiq might have come out on top. Would you agree?
Well, Vertigo's a punish pick to start off. It's a decent map for SKADE, but it's not a great map for Entropiq. So that's why we're seeing it getting picked in this kind of occasion. Overpass gets picked a lot, though, by SKADE. And I always get a bit of an odd feeling when I see Overpass coming through on a map pick to an opposition that is playing SKADE, because you roll the dice a little bit where the potential of a 2-0 could be there. It's not a massive chance, but it is still possible.
Absolutely, and I think that's the main risk you sort of take when you go for a punish pick. In certain cases, it can be a very, big victory for you in that sense. But I also feel like, as you mentioned, it is a bit of a risk in the sense that it's not a great map for the likes of SKADE. So I wonder how much Entropiq are going to be able to trump them. But I think a lot of this comes out to how these two teams are faring on the day. Like I mentioned before, if SKADE are playing to form, they can hit some ridiculously good games, some ridiculously good highs. And I think that is sort of the big question that we can't really answer until we get into server and find out, Dwayne. So I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one to weigh up, because it does feel like it's just so dependent on certain elements coming together and being, a decent side in the moment.
Well, we know that in the tournament so far, Crad, Lucky, and Nickelback have been pretty horrendous, honestly, in the Pinnacle Cup. They haven't impressed. They haven't been able to put up showings. It's pretty much just been Forrester and Elian just having that ceiling. And we know how strong those two guys are. But even for the main Swiss stage, to go through in round 5 for a 16th best team in the world, it hasn't been the cleanest of showing so far for Entropiq.
Indeed, and you look at, obviously, we talked about Mouse NXT going out a little bit earlier on today, and in the first round of the Swiss stage, they lost to that particular side.
Yeah.
Never would I ever have pitted those two teams and said, right, SKADE are going to, Entropiq are going to be able to lose this match. So I see that as a bit of a weakness. I'm not sure whether, again, it's just because they've been grinded down by all the matches they've been playing. They've been playing in literally every tournament they possibly can. So I wonder whether or not there's fatigue involved for these guys, because it does feel like it's been a big difficulty to try and crack up a decent level of consistency, especially in the Pinnacle Cup. And again, I have some questions and some queries as to whether or not that's going to be able to affect them going forward. I mean, definitely in the case of this bracket, it's going to be their next big concern, because the player break is right around the corner. But in terms of that tournament victory that we want to see them get, it doesn't look like it's going to come through, at least on the offset of what we've seen so far in Pinnacle.
Well, knowing that the player break is only a couple of weeks away, this should be the teams being as hungry as you can be, because this is the last chance you're going to play a tournament until a month's break. And yeah, it's going to be nice. You can kick your feet up, have a little bit of a holiday, but it's still game time. It's still showing that you guys can win tournaments. You guys can have deep runs. And for all of these teams participating in Pinnacle Cup, this is the greatest chance really of the year to really prove what you've got, and then you take your break.
Yeah, and that's sort of like, I think, the main sort of like issue and the main sort of thing for everybody involved in all these tournaments, including like IEM Cologne, which is also ongoing at the moment. It's their last chance to prove themselves before we hit that next month, and everyone just sort of just goes offline, and tournaments kind of disappear for a little bit. Whether or not there'll be some lower tier division stuff, we'll have to find out. But in terms of really significant tournaments, it kind of all ends this week, and especially in the Pinnacle Cup. For a team like an Entropiq and a SKADE, we look towards this as being their main sort of opportunity to present themselves as a definitive and top team going forward. So I sort of question who's going to be the hungrier for it. Will it be Entropiq or SKADE?
Yeah, it's difficult to tell when you've got two teams that play as much as they do. I can only imagine that for both these teams, it's just going to be like twiddling their thumbs in the player break. Like, I'm just so bored. Played like 200 maps in the last 3 months. All we do is play CS. Now we've got a break. What are we going to do?
It's a good question. I guess practice could be one of those key things. I definitely feel like, however, you might need a bit of a break at a certain point, because, as you mentioned before, these two teams are the top two in terms of maps played on HLTV. So you wonder whether or not there's a sort of breaking point in that respect. But I mean, we'll have to find out as time goes on. We have to find out who's going to be on top in this particular series as the Pinnacle Cup is ready to get started with our third round of 12 match for the playoffs. Quick predictions on this one.
2-1 SKADE, mate. I'm feeling a bit of an upset.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Entropiq are going to hold there together. The odds at Pinnacle do favor the Russians. So get involved in that at pinnacle.com. We're getting to the pistol round with Entropiq over with a defuse kit on Crad. Double flash set for him. Rainwake with a smoke molly and oxygen takes first face alongside Duplicate. Elian's already found that first pick, but him and Nickelback get traded out towards that side alley position. So not quite as easy for the CT forces they thought it might look initially. Denny and Forrester going back and forth as Auction finds another good trade, and it's all left towards Lackey. 1v3 on this clutch up, and it looks like SKADE will be taking the pistol round.
Yeah, Lucky just hoping for absolutely anything. Players all in and around the side. Let's get away with one, but no more than that. SKADE just being able to overwhelm really quickly and just start punishing that over-aggression out towards the alley and yellow position for the T side. They just got the Gork so aggressive.
So far forward, so quick, so easy. Hold out for SKADE that again gets them started in the pistol basis. Want to be seeing them hold a decent T-side in this one. Again, they picked into this map, and it can sort of favor the T-side in certain contexts. So gearing up for the SKADE side to get themselves a decent starter because they got the Galils out, the standard set of MAC-10s and UMPs, and upgrade pistols for Entropiq on their own Force Invest.
Lucky could get overwhelmed quite quickly. You've got a lot of emphasis out towards the B stairs. There could be a quick rotator coming through from Forrester, but for SKADE, it doesn't seem like they're messing around.
Base forward on the part of Lucky. Nade up to his position will do a little bit of damage. Lil's bursting up, Molotovs in. Lucky looking to drop down, seeing Denny, and Denny still wins out that fight again with the firepower and rifle versus SMG advantage. Let's kick off for SKADE.
It's just one of those plays where you almost feel like you have to make it. You want to try and get some information. You want to try and give yourself an advantage very early into the duel. Yeah, they tag up Denny to about half HP, but that's an opening man advantage, and that starts scrambling some of the rotations now.
Yeah, smoke's being set up as Elian does land a good shot on Duplicate, at least, out towards that ramp position. Being smoked off, siphoned away from the plant position. Auction is going to start to creep forward. He hasn't got a bomb in his bag. Needs that player to rotate up as Ship starts firing back of his own accord. Smoke's involved. Rainwaker tapping that bomb. Vertigo will tap to that position. Trusted they can get that kill against the man, but it was just a tap. No real kills coming in for the CT side.
It's very slow here from SKADE, and because it's been so slow, they've just allowed the CTs to completely overwhelm the bomb site. Getting closer to 25 seconds, they've got to get a move on.
Ship's right around this corner, Nickelback face in, good double tap, takes down an AK-4, and Elian also churns an oxygen, so 4 versus 2, Nickelback makes it 1, and suddenly it's Rainwaker all alone. 15 seconds to get the bomb down to the site. He's being suppressed on all sides by CT forces. Krad does lose his life for it, so there are drop weapons, but they're not weapons invested by Entropiq, so it's nothing lost really. 4 seconds, and Rainwaker's got to hold on to the AK. It's a quick steal for Entropiq.
It's a beautiful round. There's even a little bit of aggression to try and deal with this last AK. Oh, Spam gets very, very close with the bullets, but not enough onto Rainwaker. And Entropiq are one of those teams, Jay, where if you're not making them uncomfortable, if you're giving them time to work with, they just look so damn relaxed, don't they, up on that bomb site itself. They're all there in numbers. They're playing in and around the smokes. You start wasting time, and they go, yeah, we're just going to roll you now.
Absolutely, you have to be very careful about that because momentum is such a massive thing in the modern day of Counter-Strike, especially in Tier 2. Making them feel comfortable allows them to go into their own game plan with confidence, and that's where things can fall apart. Forced by backing for SKADE, of course, that it eagles out around that AK. Couple of save weapons in from Entropiq, but not many. Still buying into the M4s and SMGs and the scout save for Elian.
And we did see a head-to-head between Entropiq and SKADE only very recently, just about a couple of weeks ago, in that Eliza Invitational matchup, which was a little bit of a surprise, I want to say, in the semis to see Entropiq not even winning a single map in that best of 3, because a lot of people going into that would have heavily favored the Entropiq side, so looking for a bit of revenge from the last one.
Absolutely. We know that obviously this series has gone a bit of a back and forth in previous, but it usually has gone the way of the Entropiq side. And that victory coming in for SKADE was ultimately what got them to that championship in that particular tournament. So, Entropiq knowing that they possibly could have had a chance to take a crack at a title at last. Losing out on that opportunity and now losing out on the opening pick here. Krad down, first frag, and nothing else gained for SKADE.
Someone's got to make a little bit of a play for the City side. Elian's just back passive, looking for a bit of a long-range angle with that scout. But for SKADE, it seems like it's just going to be the cross-smokes on A to get the bomb down.
Utility inbound, AK spray for Rainwaker. Nickelback makes his face forward, and Denny Slaw will still catch the pick. Scouts continue to fire away, but Elian can't seem to land a pick or two. Ships will get that bomb down in the end and return fire to do some damage to the sniper rifle as Forrester gets oxygen through the smoke, though that'll only be one kill that they find, and Entropiq want to hold on to the weapons.
I know this is only round 3, but I've just got the feeling that this is just going to be a really scrappy back and forth game. Just everyone trying to hammer each other's economies down to the pits, because we're getting into a situation where SKADE won pistol, Entropiq won the force, but then SKADE win the force. Entropiq have at least got 3 players surviving. They're going to buy it up again, so we'll see a slightly better buy out from the City side in comparison to their last force, but this could go on for a little while.
That it could. Back and forth in the early few rounds of the game, and as you mentioned, like, it is very early doors, but I can see a similar scenario playing out here between these two teams. Already been some very scrappy rounds to get the forces together against them both. Should be seeing the buybacks, of course, for the likes of Crad and Nickelback. Of course, single round loss bonus here for Entropiq, so it should make a lot of sense.
A tactical timeout coming through for the Entropiq side. Just taking a little bit of a moment for a breather. Of course, just up on screen as well. Bet €10, get €10. We like that. Cup 21. Do not like the name there of Cup 21, Jay, because the cup always just gives me some bad thoughts.
Imagine it. I mean, it would make sense if it was the 21st Pinnacle Cup, but alas, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it might be at some stage. This is the second
Never
one.
know. Never know. We've got a long way to get there, though. I like this match winner predictions tracker. Do you have any insights about this? This looks to me like it's some sort of statistical thing from Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Giving Entropiq a 51% game win percentage right now, even though they are down by a round. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's always so early to tell. Once we get into the opening gun rounds, I'd like to maybe see that again to sort of see how it actually distinguishes the two. But when you go back and forth in the opening force buys, it is pretty even until at least one team gets a streak together.
Forrester, tag to 30, SMG involved. Khalil looking up around the corner as Crad does find oxygen, so that's a good pick involved. Again, the force invested for Entropiq, doing some damage to open up the round. The slow walks out from Lucky, trying to spot players back to the backline. He does find Shift, Duplicate, trying to force forward. Crad looks for another kill, but he does get overwhelmed. Takes a lot of damage with him, so it makes it easy for Lucky to get this next pick. Not seeing Duplicate, though, and not seeing the player back over towards side alley, so it distracted, allows the kill to come back in a 3-on-3.
That was very unnecessary coming out for Lucky. Needed to just hold on to the man advantage. Elliot, what a shot to be able to follow up for a couple of kills. And well, this just looks like we're going to go back and forth again.
Seemingly so. AK involved for Rainwaker, trying to clutch it out. Does find the one pick on Forrester. Trying to look for the bomb plant at the very, very edge of the site. He should get it down. Hold position for the moment. Utility still coming around the corner. Wins the fight against Nickelback and Flash onto the site itself. Trying to bait in Alien. Trying to force that SKADE out of position. Look up towards the sniper's nest, but not look at the right moment. Alien with a peek and a kill and a 3K to his name. What a hold from the scout player.
Oh my goodness, this just keeps going on and on and on. Rainwaker really looked like he was going to be able to chip back in with the 1v3. It just did everything right except deal with that last play of Alien. What a few beautiful shots coming out for that scout.
Enough to get us back to a 2-all scoreline. Entropiq continuing to hold the line against the likes of SKADE. Rebuys involved, the M4s, the FAMASs. Of course, a little bit of an awkward stance in terms of the buyback here for the CT side, and should be seeing the majority of the main weapons coming in for the Ts. There's still a couple of Deagles in play. Still in the full-on force buy mode, back and forth between both sides, and SKADE, not too surprising that we'll see that coming in against them. The nades also coming in for Entropiq will do damage to Rainwaker. Not that much, though.
And the buy doesn't actually look that terrible with the loss bonus and the bomb plant that they had. It must have just been that they had a little bit of money in the reserve after that round got lost. Waiting for a bit of aggression out from ramp, and Entropiq just playing in and around the smokes.
Nades in from Duplicate, going to give up his position. Crad still close, and Nickelback evades the majority of the damage. Slight gap in that smoke. Has seen one player crossing. Crad doesn't take the fight. Just nade back, smoke back down. Suppressing this angle, disallowing any map control from SKADE.
And I can only imagine that both Nickelback and Hooch are probably just saying to themselves, once we get advantages, let's not loosely give it away, because that's probably been some of the downfall in these rounds for Entropiq, is they're just giving up too many advantages after they've already gained something. Bit of a contact play. Crad just playing out to 51.
Rotating up from us involved, gets one pick, not quite the second. Turn around to the 4 versus 4. Heavily tagged on her own part as Alien starts firing away with the AWP. Doesn't get much out of it. Right now for the man. Ships takes this fight on towards Nickelback, and Nickelback wins it alongside Lucky, who gets Rainwaker elsewhere on the map. So now 2 left standing for SKADE and 30 seconds to work with. Denny trying to work with something out here towards the stairs in the boost spot angle. Might try to look for that AK that his teammate dropped, and indeed he'll get it. Still got a man to deal with, and Lucky just doesn't allow him to go any further. 2 picks to his name, on for the third against Duplicate. Very easy to find, and that's exactly what he'll do for Entropiq to connect 2 and a lead.
Lucky has looked impressive in the very, very rare cases that we've seen anything out towards the B bomb site. So far, it's just been ramp take after ramp take after ramp take, post plant on A, round after round. Finally get into a situation where one of these teams is going to be able to convert a couple in a row, and then just completely resets the economy line for SKADE. Entropiq, perfect opportunity for them to go 4-2 up now.
Yeah, basic pistols involved for the SKADE side now into round 6. Finally going to make the concession of an eco. No force invest involved here for this one, so should be seeing a pretty easy cleanup for Entropiq. Main thing you want to look out for is Crad and where he's going to place himself. I'll go for the run boost as well for Rainwaker. Failed it once, got it around the second time, but quickly Molotoved off by the Entropiq side. I don't know exactly how to deal with that.
You can't expect a massive amount to be taken here by the Ts. If they can get a bomb plant somehow, that would be incredible. But when you've really just got a couple of upgraded P250s, no armor, no util, it's a bit of a throwaway round. You're hoping that the CTs get really hungry and really over-aggressive. But for the most part, it's actually pretty passive.
AK looking around the corner. Tap burst fire, not quite finding the full-blown kill. Involved the P250 wraps the corner, Nickelback falls away. It's Lackey. Great frag on oxygen. Nickelback does the same thing past the smoke and doubles up on ships. They are going to stick the bomb plant in, or at least they'll try to do so, but Crad blinds fires on the default position, so no bonus money for SKADE. 4-2 now for Entropiq. The rifles can come back here for the Ts.
Okay, this should be a little bit more interesting to see how we're going to see in terms of pacing here for the T side. Mid control has been something that's been almost irrelevant, you want to say. Haven't even seen a mid fight at all in this early portion of the first half. Denny Slav up on screen, ships as well. And for him, a youngster being able to pick up the in-game leader role, and you've got to imagine he probably feels quite proud being able to get this team to a top 30 position and a very competitive team in Tier 2 for his first team in which he's been calling for.
Spray throw on Crad gets the SMG involved, however, for Entropiq, going to make them absolutely unproud of this round at the moment. Does get picked apart by Denny at least, but still a 2-for-1 with AKs dropped in the open. Can get picked up by Forrester if he so desires, but he's waiting on the mid control for Duplicate to face, so he might even just get it off the back of him. AK wraps, kill comes in, 2v4, and Entropiq have just decimated in this round.
Yeah, you know when you're looking at your mate and you don't need to say anything, you just nod heads, you just know what they're saying? Just that whole situation is Crad, yeah, mate, you know what you want to do. You know that you want to get aggressive, but Denny, how is this now a 2v2?
Not a bad question. 3 kills to his name, coming out of the gate back towards that ramp control, and mistakes being made by Entropiq. Around the corner looking for Forrester, sees his head, sees his body, struggles with the spray, but makes it a 4K, and now it's Lackey alone. Entropiq had this round in the palm of their hands, and then they just threw it away.
I literally do not know what I'm watching in this round. They have a 4-on-2 advantage there. They've got ramp control, Crad gets a double, Lucky's now got a clutch.
Then he's on for the ace. Will he get it in this? Lackey watching at the back lines, holding for contest, the defuse kit on his pouch at least, so he has a little bit of time to work with, but just that one flash, no smoke to cover off the default position or the ninja defuse. Try hunt on towards Denny. This duel could be everything for him. Wraps up, spray through, damage has been done, man's been seen, and now he's dead out of time. He'll try to get back to the site, but they've got util to cover it off. That incendiary will basically secure it. Even then, Lucky was already rotating, so there it is. 4 kills for Denny Slaw. What a recovery for him.
Yeah, huge round. Really huge round. And it just comes down to complacency there for Entropiq. That round looks completely done. It looks completely over. And instead we get into a sense where it just gets recovered. And for SKADE, I don't know how that happens. And for Entropiq, that's a bit of a facepalm, isn't it?
It is. Again, I don't see any reason why they should have given that up to the individual. Jules coming in for Crowd. Again, this SMG got 2 frags for 1 trade, but then Denny came back out of the gate, continued the campaign here. It was these 2 kills that really got it together. And then Forrester to full basically secured it in whole. Not much they get done off the back of that. Crowd will take the damage towards the campaign again, set in by the T-side line. Ships his blind fire. Will tag him for 48. Rebuy, of course, inbound for Entropiq with the AWPs and everything, but again, they'll be feeling a little bit salty after that previous round.
Nade's just going back and forth, trying to do as much chip damage as possible, but SKADE on T-side have just been pretty two-dimensional. Like, we haven't seen too much flair, I guess, in terms of their setups. It's just, okay, we'll get smoked early rounds, we'll then retake ramp, try and see if we can work a bit of a default. This time around, they're actually going to pick out towards a B side.
Involved in that first frag on Lackey for the moment. Nickelback watching above the smoke here towards the A ramp play. Nothing as of right now and being very, very cautious about how far forward he wants to take a face. Meanwhile, Forrester's waiting on the B site for contact And again sees nothing of the SKADE camp. So these 4 players are undetected, setting up for the hit.
Now, this is all going to have to come down to the CTs being able to have a foothold on the side. They can't really wait for the rotations. They need to find impact now.
Players forced away, flashes over, Duplicate involved. Alien comes up with a pick alongside Crowd. They take down Duplicate and drop the bomb. A 4-on-3. And I'm still looking for Alien. Rainwaker right around that corner trying to bait him out, but still Crad's there to get his double up. Now secure Denny and ships to the 4 versus 2, making it 1 with Denny all alone. Gonna go with another 4K, this time with 15 seconds to make every single pick happen. He misses out on the first shot, misses out on his only chance.
And Krat's one of those guys for Entropiq who is almost like the perfect teammate. You can just get him to do whatever you need him to. And we see in that round, as soon as Alien misses that orb shot, see how quickly that decision-making comes through from Krat? Okay, I need to help my teammate. I need to bail him out of this situation. I'm going to swing on the contact and just found a multitude of kills over at that B side. Really, really strong defensive there coming through from the Russians.
And SKADE now starting to hit a few more struggles than they initially expected. Incendiaries and smokes and flashes and whatever have you involved in terms of suppression. The SKADE camp, Rainwaker's trying to make a pick back work here towards the B play again, leaning out very far wide on that run boost position. But seeing nothing of Entropiq here.
Entropiq haven't really been aggressive in any sort of these eco rounds. They just hold back. Know that if they force forward, they don't want to be giving up any of those rifles up to the T side. Rainwaker is just hoping for a jiggle peek. Honestly, anything.
Anything at all would be nice. Nothing's given up though. Alien watching with the AWP, setting ready towards the side alley position. Sees one, great kill. Swing back on the second man, lands it, perfect. Pixel gaps all he needs. 2 more players still making their way out towards the ramp position. His teammate's going to have to cover off him. So that will take place. Then he's been seen. Spot is sprayed up. Ships will get a decent deagle back on this, but Alien's there for the trade. Dropping the bomb and dropping the round.
They're going further aggressive. Wants to be able to find the last. Deagle out. Krat's going to help him out. Entropiq getting up to 6. And I'm going to ask you, Jay. When Entropiq are at their scariest, do you think it's when the riflers are having a really good time or when Alien's having a really good time? Because you can see 2 very different Entropiqs from day to day.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like you don't really know because, I mean, Alien's stupid talented. Stupid talented.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, you sort of like default to that because that's sort of the easiest thing to make. But then again, you also got to think that this, in general, this is a squad of very talented individuals, a lot of firepower involved. So it's a hard one to weigh up. They do both look good in both scenarios, especially when Nickelback can just fall straight forward, get the pick in on ships, deal with him immediately, not wasting any time to open up round 10.
And they've got a fair bit of finesse on this City side. The aggressive mid play coming out, flash over the top, tied perfectly. Even 2 players out to the B side with this orb.
Molotov, Lackey. Aggressed upon, gonna look back in position, sees where Duplicate is. He gets a kill involved against Alien, who does find 1 pick on Oxygen, but now a lot of pressure onto Lackey. Duplicate can double up, turn it to a 3 versus 3. He's very heavily tagged here, so these nades can be dangerous, but they're gonna be able to evade them for the most part. Gonna get this bomb to the site and get it planted, set up the retake here for SKADE.
Those HEs just coming in a little bit too early. Krat on this backstab, though, all comes down to timing from Denny.
Oh, nades and Molotovs on Rainwaker, burning him to 12 points of health. That's 2 easy kills that can come forward here for the CT side, but Rainwaker still tapped up the head of Forrester. Brings it to a 3 versus 2. Nickelback, another incendiary inbound. Crowd will start to look around the corner, but got to look lower. Here against Denny. Duplicate gets another good kill, and Denny deals with the last. Triple up for Duplicate, making it 6-4. SKADE final round.
I'm very impressed with the trading game and some of those entry frags out from SKADE. Got to remember, ships fell in that round really early on to that mid-aggression. And then even at the B-bomb site, Alien gets him a 5-on-3 pretty much instantly. But it just came down to Duplicate being able to get a couple of kills on the side. Rainwaker, how low he was, just trying to retreat, still got a kill into the mid-player.
And SKADE with an all-important 4th again. Can they try and connect a second one off the back of it, though? The issue has always been following up, and look at this from Lackey. They have absolutely no idea about the aggressive plays to the CT side. He can only find 1 frag for it, though, so it's dealt with quick by Rainwaker. Or 1 player being seen at the edge of the boost spot as well. Forrester tries to take him down. Does damage, but doesn't win out the kill.
I'd have to look that back in that round on the radar. Where is Forrester? Like he's going for such an aggressive play out to the B stairs. He's trying to stay alive. He's getting contact duels, and Forrester, it almost seems like a hard bait. He's not even there to trade.
Yeah, things are looking a little bit awkward on that B site occasionally, but Entropiq have maintained a 4 versus 4 at least. I've got to turn their attention towards the A site because that's where SKADE are going. Only Nickelback here to hold off. They're setting up towards ramp and alley. Tentative about how they go with this. Flashes will go over.
It gets silent. Very, very silent. And for Nickelback, with him playing passive, he's not got any eyes out on yellow.
Duplicate sees the man, takes him down. I think probably secures the round off the back of that. Do Entropiq, I mean, the economy's just not there here for Entropiq.
Yeah.
There's nothing to work with. They'll face him with the AWP. See one player in the back. That looked a bit of a difficult shot there for Alien. And now things look a bit more doable, but Denny deals with Forrester. So back to the man advantage, and as Alien falls, Crowd's got it all to do for Mars. Turn away from Flash over, seeing the shoulder bait, looking for the headshot of the man, and Duplicate lands his shot to get his 2K. Get the 5th for SKADE.
Yeah, SKADE starting to now be able to strike a couple in a row, and we're getting to a position where the money is just not here at all for the Entropiq side. They're going to have to Nico. They don't have enough money for a buy round. SKADE just trying to see if they can bring that deficit back one more, and they'll tie up.
Look towards the last of the half as starts to approach with a significant advantage. The economy will just balance itself out to lean towards a gun round. Even then, SKADE could actually find the advantage at this moment, given how Entropiq have dominated for the most part in this half. Has been a great recovery for the T side, and as you mentioned before, got to be an eco for Entropiq. Not a lot of money in reserve, not a lot of loss bonus flowing for them, so get guns out for the next one. They'll stack up the A site, but they're playing to B.
I always do get that that nerve when I see a CIS sort of eco, but when you've got a stack on A and a commitment into B, there's no nerves to think about.
Absolutely not. Lackey just couldn't do anything, and that Oxygen picks him up. He's facing out towards the mid control. Got a couple of CT players. Act up as well. Forrester. Deagle. Not finding anything. Oxygen, Denny, and Duplicate with those frags, and well, Elian left to fall apart. 1v5 for the man.
And we know that in the Bulgarian scene, we've been blessed with some few very, very insanely talented AWPers. You think of Cirque, you think of Poison. Now we're getting into a bit of a state, I guess, in 2021, Jay, where we've got Hahn over at Fiend that have now made their way into the quarters, and Denny out on SKADE. I don't know which one I like more, because both are really finding some highs in the last 3 months, 6 months or so.
Well, like I said during the pre-game, this is a very good time, I think, for Bulgarian CS. Just knowledge that they've got two players that... Yeah, we're not quite at the Wendigo level anymore, but we're still having two teams who are having a fantastic time in the Tier 2 divisions, and they're always making these top 12, top 8 playoff positions.
Yep.
Sometimes even winning trophies, as we mentioned before in the case of SKADE. So, again, there's a lot of potential behind these guys and a lot of opportunities that they're being able to seize and go as far forward as possible with. A tough task going ahead of the SKADE side as they go 6 all to the board against the Entropiq camp. The rifles inbound, the utility upper standard. SKADE will look down range, spray through the Forrester, looks for the T-side members, but behind that smoke, can't see anything.
Denny's just waiting for some further aggression out towards ramp, but it's a bit more emphasis out towards the B stairs to start this round off, just trying to see if they can prod the CTs for a bit of an aggression, bait out those early nades, because now for Lucky, all he's got left is a smoke.
We'll put that down towards that stairs angle, suppressing for the time being. Alien's going to reposition to the back of quad. Cindier is also involved for Forrester. Look down with Lackey as well. The AWP airing in upon. Lackey's going to drop down, tries to be going in Vine. Forrester gets his pick with Lackey, gets spotted by Rainwaker. Forrester can't quite seem to double up, takes a lot of damage, and eventually goes dropping. So that aggressive play fails for Entropiq. It's all on Alien to bail him out.
Oh, I love this. You get 2 picks of B and they don't even commit with it. They start scrambling the CTs. That looked to be the perfect read for Entropiq. And look at Chips. He's just clearing out ramp by himself.
His Nickelback is back here just in time to hold the defensive, but his knife down, not expecting him to be so far forward, and does somehow win that fight against the man. Further players involved, and they're going to hear those footsteps. Crad is now on site to support it. Triplicate sees the smoke blooming, does not see the man, does see Nickelback at least, and wrap the corner. Crad gets a trade, 2 versus 2. Needs Alien to get here. He's going for a backstab. Crad cannot stay alive for much longer on 11 points of health. The Orb still watching, and somehow Crad has baited in the time stall, 20 seconds. The smoke will start to clear, and Rainwaker on the other side of hard cover. Crad can't win that fight, and now it's all to Elian with the AK in his hands. 2 kills to find. Doesn't see that AWP. Will do now, and then he still lands his pick as Elian's caught looking the wrong way.
Wow. Again, this is another round that really impresses me from SKADE. Good mid-round calling, great entries coming out for the D side. You've got position in which Entropiq, that round pretty much looks over when you've got 3 on B and you go aggressive. They've got the flashes forward. Unfortunately for them, in terms of some of the duels, it doesn't quite work. It goes back to a 4v4. They then allow SKADE to get a couple of picks. And normally on Vertigo, you get 2 kills at B, you just send it. You just full execute out to the B side, and they don't. They just slow it down. They know that Ships is making a bit of a play out from ramp. Yes, he did get caught off. Those odds, though, like at least the percentages, they're still so close. But for me personally, I feel like SKADE are really pushing ahead now.
Well, you have seen how that graph has progressed over time at the at Pinnacle. Like they have favored SKADE right up until this moment where they kind of, I mean, they are at the round advantage, but Entropiq now has some basis to work from in terms of the in terms of the eco. And all in all, you can sort of see how the stats are still kind of favorable to the SKADE camp. So there are some situations where things do come together, but no, it generally is all blue.
I like this. This is something that I personally haven't seen. I'm sure the viewers have over the course of the Pinnacle Cup. And I can only imagine what some of those stats would be like in the 22s to 23 and going far into OT. Just got stats everywhere. But for the most part, SKADE have now been able to get 4 rounds in a row. Another eco sort of setup here coming through from Entropiq. Not really much to work from them at all. And I guess it does kind of go on the point a little bit more that I sort of made in the pregame. Well, Crad, Lucky, and Nickelback have been a little bit disappointing so far in the stage. It feels like Elian's the only one that's really finding good form here.
You can see, well, he's 5-1 in duels against Oxygen. You mentioned how certain elements of this team were a bit disappointing on the Entropiq side, and Elian's not able to get much done in this particular round. Shut down alongside Lucky and Forrester immediately into this play, and SKADE just overwhelming Entropiq. A 1v fight for Nickelback. No time at all taken to get 8 to the board and the half advantage for SKADE.
Oh, that was a quick start, wasn't it? Press the button, just aggressive, just frag. What a quick round coming through, and that was a change of pace that I wasn't even really ready for. It's been quite methodical, it's been quite slow. We get into an eco, they just absolutely bomb rush the B stairs and just find so much success. I guess it does come down to start that the CTs got so aggressive themselves.
It's kind of their fault in that respect, but again, Elian not able to do much with the AWP in that last round. Going to put it to decent effect here in round 15. Rifles involved. Ships looks up. Players bearing down. Crad seen. Shot missed in. Damage has been done to Ships. He refaces as Crad gets up close and personal and picks apart the first frag. Starts things off for the CT side.
I don't know how I feel about that one. Chips gets stacked up pretty heavy. He goes, oh, I didn't quite get a chance. I'll just made myself a second. I'm just going to peek straight through again. Oh, okay.
I thought. Well, at least Forrester gets the trade back. Oxygen pulling us all for a fast one. Nickelback close range towards that man, but who's going to see who first that the smoke starts to clear? Oxygen actually backs away, and that gives Nickelback the chance to strike back to turn, but the M4 lands no bullets whatsoever, and Oxygen can punish Nickelback for his transgressions.
And now they're just waiting for a bit of a mistake. They try and make a bit of a play out towards a B stairs. Rainwaker's waiting for some over-aggression. There's still a fair bit of time for SKADE to work with.
40 to the clock. Holding back here on the CT basis. Lucky just in particular waiting to the back line. Looks up, sees a man, bursts through, does damage, does not quite get the kill, takes the damage back of his own right, flashbang forward with his teammates. Rainwaker still finds the kill alongside Oxygen as Forrester falls back. And well, 1 versus 2 now for Elian, the AWP involved. Usually I'd give him the benefit of the doubt to get a clutch in this, but honestly, I don't think he can. SKADE full control of this. Footsteps heard, the jump phase does know where Oxygen is, and the flick just does not quite land. So 9-6 and a half. SKADE, again, bringing it back.
And everyone's showing up. Oxygen at one point was 3 and 10, I believe. He's now got up to 10 or 11 kills to end out the half. Really finding some high success. And yes, you can find some success as well. Bet 10 euros, get 10 euros only at Pinnacle. It seemed that for Entropiq, very good start from them. We went back and forth in nature. They got that 4-2 lead, stretched it to 6-3. And now, SKADE had just been on the rise.
Yeah, things are starting to look good for them now. The graph starts tipping towards their favor. High percentage chance to win at this particular stage, and again with a pistol that they can pick up, it could be everything for them. Oxygen pick found on Ellie, and Crad can't trade it back. Ships looks in to try and hold the trades together alongside his teammates out towards side alley. Denny Slaw in particular pressing the issue. Taps forward, Lucky gets Rainwaker next, 3 versus 3. Ships cannot hold on to Forrester. The aggression of the CT side starts to get punished. 3-on-2 situation, making it 1 and none. Then Entropiq do get a pistol.
A bit reckless there to come through from SKADE, and it can work at times if you catch your opposition off guard, if they've got knives out, or maybe they're communicating or looking up at the radar and they're not really focused on exactly what's happening in front of them. But it seemed in that whole ideal, when that aggression and that slow walk aggression started coming through, Entropiq were just ready for it. They're going to take a tactical, slow it right down.
A tactical pause, of course, involved in this one. A moment's respite for the Russians and a moment's respite for us as well. Take a chance to let you know about Trustly. When speed is the name of the game, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. Choose Trustly to make your payments flow quickly from account to account. Of course, the player account is powered by Trustly. Seeing a little bit of the, I guess, the tension on the faces of these players individually. Again, Entropiq have a lot to prove at the moment. Being pressured into doing so here. The SKADE side are up by a margin, but hey, a pistol bonus is a bit of a way back in for them now.
Yeah, good to see that the players are comfortable. Did you see that picture out on Twitter yesterday of one of the ESEA advanced players in North America playing on top of a dishwasher into getting playoffs? So you do get some odd ones, I'll tell you that, when it comes to playing camps.
It reminds me a lot of do you remember the, I don't know if you ever watched PewDiePie back in the day, but he actually used to play from like literally like a kitchen. He had like a sink in the background of his like, just playing horror games. And when you ever had to cry, just turn around and quickly wash your face just to make sure that people don't know. That's funny. Oh. Rainwaker pressing the issue forward and making Lucky have to cry as he's the first man out of the round. Great start. Great pick. Can it convert any more here for this Deagle Force buy?
I was so hoping we'd just get a 2-0 conversion, get into the rifle round quickly, but 3 on B, CT's already with the opening pick, great flashbang coming through, Oxygen gets some tags in, does get the kill, Rainwaker peeks on, this is now 4v2, I don't know how you would cover this for the T's.
Well, once again, they've left SKADE to be in an awkward spot. Turn the whole table around against Entropiq, facing against Crad, now known here towards stairs area, Forrester, back turn towards Denny. Catches him, domes him in the face, and now Crad with shoulders to work with, nothing else. AK's in hand, backstab involved for Ships. Sees his man, he's going to creep a bit closer. He's going for knife, stabs out, good night, Crad. Oh dear. Oh dear, Entropiq. Well, SKADE went for a punish pick for good reason, and right now it feels like they're punishing them in whole.
Honestly, SKADE are like the Fnatic from last year. They just love knives. I think I saw the other day that they've had 16 or 17 knife kills this entire year. I mean, that's insane to think about how many knife kills come through.
They love them, and they get themselves in the right positions to do so. A force buy here for Entropiq. Galil involved for Rainwaker. Nades up, damage should be done to Lucky to 50 points of HP. Nothing else coming through for them. Entropiq's tapping their way with the pistols, but getting nothing else.
And what's great in that round is, yeah, knife gives you a little bit of extra kill bonus, but no bomb plant for the Entropiq side. Yeah, they're going to be on double eco status. They're going to have to buy it up, but we're not going to see any of the Galils or the Hero AK because the money's just not there at all. They've got a completely force buy with only pistols.
Yeah, just the basics. Maybe some potential in the headshots to the Deagles, the Tech 9 rushes, but Damage being done from long range here for Ships and Co. 2 kills for him, almost making it a triple. Alien tagged up. Not quite dead yet. Forrester could be, though, and indeed, that is the case for Duplicate.
Alien just thinking to himself, well, this isn't good. I've lost everyone. I've now got to clutch a 1v5. At least he's got bomb.
A bomb's not going to be useful to him unless he can get it planted. Tap forward and Oxygen gets a couple of tags involved, but... Nah, Rain wake up with the kill easy. Make it 11 for SKADE, and well, we could be seeing the quick turnaround to the 3-1 start for the SKADE side before we see the first gun round inbound. Entropiq having a very difficult time here in the second half.
God, Pinnacle, I thought you were supposed to back me, boys. Those odds still favouring SKADE. That is for the series, but still 11-7 up. Now going up against another eco. This looks good for the Bulgarians.
It does, it does.
But is there an extra?
I was trying to think of a but you know. Okay, here's your but. There's a tech pause coming in. Tech pause. Hear the ticks in your head, just like, okay, yeah, no. So we're not going to get straight into this round at a moment to stop things. I think that might have been called out by Entropiq. We'll find out more information in a moment's time, but again, it's a good moment to sort of reflect on how things have gone so far. Because again, Entropiq have had leads in the past. They have looked really, really good over the course of this. But right now, everything favours the SKADE camp.
Having a bit of a stretch, making sure they're all comfortable, but they were, what, 6-3 up in Entropiq, and now we're potentially looking down at the barrel of 7-12. I mean, it's a very, very strong turnaround from this SKADE side. Whoa, he's just disappeared. Gone like the wind. I can't believe we got baited so hard with that orb shot out from Rab. Honestly, I really thought that was the wallbang shot. It looked so on.
It did, it did. I mean, I kind of hope we get to see some more of those later. But, well, gone like ships at the moment. He's the man that's timed out over on the SKADE side. So it was a technical pause called in by them and not Entropiq.
Gone sailing.
Yeah, gone fishing. Gone anywhere.
Are you a fishing man, Jay?
I'm not a fishing man, no. I'm
Really?
very, very impatient, so I never could sit down for that long. And I'm definitely, like, you can tell I'm not a very patient person because, you know, I can't stand slow payments to wait. I'm sure that you understand that as well as I do.
Of course.
That's where Trusty comes in, of course. No cards, no downloads, no app, no registration, no nothing. You can actually try making payments at pinnacle.com/odds where you find the latest odds in play for SKADE and Entropiq, which we've seen a little bit earlier on today, how they still favour the Entropiq side in this series. So make sure you check that out. And, of course, see what's going on over on the pinnacle.com website. Looks like we've got all 5 players in server now, though. So, SKADE have their main man back in play with the AUG over ships, but shouldn't be too much of a massive round for them again. Entropiq back down to the ecos, just P250s at best. And a flashbang involved for Nickelback. That's it.
Just anti-rush nades going out towards that ramp position, just spam, trying to see if they can connect to as much damage as possible. It's a little couple of tags to start off the round, but for the most part, you can't expect Entropiq to get away with much at all. If they can try something slightly aggressive, maybe they can get away with one trade, but all in all, with the CT economy being as strong as it is, this could get developed even further for the CT side.
Walking out to position here, set in for the flashes. I think some sort of mid-control to come through for Entropiq. Forrester in particular will lead the charge. Duplicate here with the Galil set. Going to evade that flash. Reface back out. Sees the first man out. Tries to line up for the second spray. Unable to do so. So Alien trade in with the Galil now in his particular hands. Oxygen got to deal with him and his teammates. Gets dinked back for his trouble and does get overwhelmed in the end. But his teammates are still there to clean house. 1v3 for Alien. Trying to get the bomb down, but he's lost it out towards spawn. So no chance of that. 12th round for SKADE. Now we start to get to our collar tugging scenarios here for Entropiq. Rifles are coming back out, but if they lose this round, they're in deep trouble.
I think they already are, honestly, mate. I know that it's still, in terms of the mathematical sense of being 7-12 down, there are ways of which of coming back and trying to at least elevate yourself to a competitive scoreline. But for me, Entropiq have just cancelled out this one so much earlier than where we are here right now. SKADE have really put the power on, and we just have not seen that adaptation. We have not seen the change up. Out towards a ramp position. We are going to get an early trade. Crad is going to get pushed on, though.
Denny's going to follow suit on towards that man. 2 for 1, 2 for 2 actually. If Nickelback finds a response on Denny. 3 versus 3 scenario as Entropiq continue to press the issue. Try play it up with the default here towards that ramp control. CTs are here to respond. There's 2 out towards side alley in particular.
Entropiq just walking with this. Duplicate on the other side with this orb really needs to be able to follow up. Drops that bomb. Nickelback looking to go and swing in, and Duplicate just holds his life.
Cindy area, try stop off that bomb for getting picked up. Pierced all for extra time. There's still a lot of time to go. Sprays on Nickelback, doing some damage through the wall, but so far so little gain in terms of the kill counts for the T side here on this execution. Elian finally gets one of oxygen. Nade back on Duplicate. He's on 9 points of health. Sprayed up massively, and they have turned it around. Now 1 man left in Rainwaker. Lil out on the rotations in from the back lines. He can grab an AK and AUG. There's plenty of weapons at his feet, but he's going to have to give up the information.
At least they've got the best clutcher in tier 2. Trying to see if he can make this round work. 1v2, all just comes down to timing. Deals with the first.
Nickelback's going to face him as well. 1v1s coming inappropriate, and he gets his headshot with patience of mind and brilliance of play. It's Rainwaker turning up a triple and a 13th to the CT side.
Oh my goodness, another sick clutch coming through from Rainwaker. The crosshair placement, the timing, the way that he isolated those individual picks. Entropiq, they seem to play that relatively well to recover that whole round, but as soon as Rainwaker's in the clutch, you've always got to think to yourself, this is still on.
It's definitely on for SKADE's victory here on their map pick. 4 to the board of the CT round streak. Rainwaker just continuing to extend that. Entropiq start to look like they are in a really, really dire spot now. Down by a margin, forcing the issue back with the AKs. The Galils are Krieg in for Elian. A lot of hope in the hands of the offensive line. Krad gets ahead. Chips looks around, sees his man, gets a frag.
It just seems too simple, doesn't it? Get that first pick, fall back, put a couple of nades down towards ramp just in case you're getting pushed on because they're thinking about making an aggressive trade. Entropiq have got ramp control, but they need an advantage.
And first pick found again here for the SKADE side. Entropiq struggling to find a pick opportunity. Nickelback will see one there on ships on the site itself. Eventually, spray lines up, but Duplicate is still there at side. Smoke down, got to focus entirely on alley. Could get wide swung, he's got to get back up out towards main, and indeed the AWP will arrive.
Rotations are taking a little while longer, but he doesn't know. Which way does he look?
They need to flash him in around the corner. 3 players to line up on a spray. It's a little bit awkward, but it comes up good for him. Nickelback, 1v4, AK in hand, dealt with easy. A quadra for Duplicate. And 14 for SKADE. They look like such a formation unit in that play.
You got to give a lot of credit to those 2 guys, Denny with the flash and Duplicate with the rifle. The way in which those rotations come back in, they flash out wide, allow Duplicate to peek with it, and it cannot be timed any better than that.
All players caught jumping out of the way, all blinded. Didn't know what hit him until it was far too late. (14-7), SKADE in full control of this. Entropiq desperately forcing the buy, desperately getting the AKs, and desperately getting that opening pick for Lucky. Is this going to be the execution moment where Elian's going to get caught back regardless? An option still in the back of the site, holding his defensive. Lucky soft load. Peters is an easy duel to win. Forrester finds the response, but it's still a 3v2 that favors the SKADE side.
Oh, they've lost bomb control. It's down there over towards the B side, so Forrester needs to kind of wait for his teammate to make a bit of a play. There is a walk coming through from Krad as a backstab.
AK sees him, bursts through, does damage, 40 points of health, and now to nothing. Krad, the backstab is all that remains, but can he remain silent and careful for long? He's got Denny to face first. AWP caught looking the wrong way, so that's 1 good frag. Now where does he go about this? Trying to indicate he's gone towards mid, but now Ships is going to watch from the site itself. Jules going to be isolated, but looking the wrong way at the wrong moment, leaves the AK to win this kill and gets SKADE on map point for Vertigo.
And I don't want to take anything away from SKADE, Jay, but I am honestly perplexed here. How were Entropiq up 6-3 and we're now 7-15 down? Like that whole road has just been going and going and going ever since we got to like round 9 or round 10 or so.
Oh man. 1% chance of Entropiq winning this map. Yeah, this does not look good. This really does not look good for them. SKADE. Then upon by Denny. 11 HP for Crad, tagged up Forrester first to face and first to fall. Another opening advantage for SKADE, and Entropiq just out of ideas, it seems.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And you're getting to a point where SKADE are just winning every single duel in the opening man advantage department. Another easy pick to come through the AWP, and even Crad is so low. Shiv's now aggressing out from ramp.
M4 in, Alien caught, Lucky. Trying to see if he can get the pick back against him. The Krieg watching as the sprays continues. He sees Lucky above that smoke, but runs out of ammo. So there is one trade involved, but two players left standing as the hit comes back. Duplicate can't make it a double, but does get a tag off on Lucky. And now the backstab being watched by Rainwaker here at Con. Continue to hold his line and just trying to see if he can bait the T-side players to walk straight into it. They might just give him what he wants.
Yeah, they might do. This is a very, very difficult angle to pre-aim. They are expecting some aggression, though.
Happen all the way around. Will they see the man in the corner? No, they do not. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Players seen, both sprayed, and that's easy for Rainwaker. 16-7 for SKADE, and what looked like it might have been a map for Entropiq to start has turned the way of the Bulgarians as they take their map pick in what looks like confident fashion as we head towards Embrace. Entropiq have got to make a turnaround on Overpass after this. Not a great start for Entropiq. It was their opponent's map pick. SKADE coming up good over on Vertigo, and that tips the odds in their favor over at Pinnacle. They now seem to like the idea that SKADE could take this one, but it is Overpass, our second map of the series today. And Entropiq, we know that they're particularly good on this one.
Yeah, we do. And even with this setup, with a very heavy con stacking for the City side, this could be a 5-on-5 retake. Entropiq just going for the monster rush.
And wasting no time about it, Duplicate flashing his way forward, seeing a couple of players coming out towards the site. We'll try to get the bomb plant in soon. Entropiq have Forrester to find Duplicate, kick things off on the right foot. USP back for Oxygen can get the kill on Nickel back in the backstab over at Monster. So 4 versus 4. As the bomb plant is secure, the pressure's on SKADE now to wrap around and try find a different angle of attack. Entropiq have completely traded places with the CT positions. And Oxygen moving up, caught by Forrester, doubling up with a second tap through. Alien gets the kill on Chips, and now Rainwaker all left towards the short entrance. Dealt with by Alien for the 2K. Forrester makes it 3 in the end, and a pistol for Entropiq.
It comes down to a couple of the star players, Forrester and Alien, just working together in that pistol round. And unfortunately for SKADE, they were maybe hoping for a little bit more of a default setup, a little bit more of a slower, methodical kind of round. But instead, it was just the B-site Xe out from that monster position, and no one was really on site to be able to hold any kind of contention. It comes down to the retake, and they don't really get a massive amount of kills in.
And he forced back in for SKADE. Obviously will come forward in this second CT round. The Eagles scouts. A couple of Mac 10s as well for Entropiq to be able to get the head Kevlar players to drop. Only Oxygen has the helmet in this one. Everybody else should be easy pickings for these SMGs and the rifles as well for Entropiq on 3 individuals. Yeah, standard force buy of the second round. SKADE being careful about their positions. They're spread out for the most part.
And this aggressive move for Denny, if it goes any further aggressive, that could allow a little bit more of a gamble stack into the B side, but it is going to have to get a little bit of time going because for Entropiq, it looks like it's a very similar approach to the pistol.
Forrester walking out first and foremost. Smoke's involved with the CT side, trying to suppress it. Nades involved doing damage, but Lucky gets that kill on the first man. Oxygen with the head Kevlar dealt with. Now it's Mac-10's chance to shine before he gets another kill with the AK. Entropiq drops one of the AK, so the Mac-10's better pick that up as the bomb should go down. Denny on the wraparound. May get a backstab involved, but honestly, it's pretty unlikely he gets much out of this. Even Rainwaker's made the call to save.
Yeah, just hold on to the few bits of weaponry that you have going into round 3. Entropiq, it's been relatively simple so far. That time around, it was a little bit slower in terms of the approach, but out to that B site, decent utility. Lucky being able to get a couple of entries with the AK. And Denny and Rainwaker have got no real option, but just to hold on to what they have. So 2-0 start coming through for Entropiq. Should look to make it a 3-0 start.
Yeah, should be simple enough. Maybe the Mac-10 can get a hunt here for Denny Slaw. Krad's trying to see if he can bait in a deagle shot, but so far seeing nothing. And it's a simple setup here for Entropiq. No buy around the 2 save weapons for SKADE. Not a lot of money involved. Got an eco for the true gun round. It's a much better start here for the Russians.
And I'm so happy that we get into a stance where it's just not back and forth, because that's how both the first and second halves kind of went, was that you won pistol but then lost a conversion, and then it could have gone back and forth a little bit. At least this time it's a 2-0 start. We'll be able to get into the rifles relatively early. And for players like Krad and Lackey going into round 3, just try and mop up as many kills as possible. Get that kill bonus.
Good scout shot in for Rainwaker. Finds Elian, well, does damage to Elian. It's Lackey that finds the kill against the man. Better pass that AK off to him or to Krad with the low HP for Elian's part. Still facing in towards that park position that Eagles are going to try and challenge him. Lackey presses on and Krad also gets out towards connected control to buy a bit of a rotation line in for the Entropiq camp. Elian is siphoned off though. He's going to have to get back out of position. He's able to rejoin his teammates successfully.
Yeah, both the Mac-10 players, at least for the majority of this round, aren't really in a position to trade out. So you might as well just have Elian just really passive, and then eventually you can trade that AK over, and that's what they're going to do over to Lackey. Ship's just waiting for a really overly aggressive play, hopefully getting a Zeus kill.
There's one player that's starting to get that far forward in the form of Krad. Is Mac-10 better check that corner? Ship's ready. Doesn't get it. Not to be. So extra money gained again by the SMGs. The AKs will get passed around at the end. And Entropiq will also get forced back here and connected control. So again, not much that they can really do here for the SKADE site. Entropiq will get that 3-0 start. See what damage these upgrades can do.
Krad just farming up more money with that Mac-10, making sure that the bank is going to be very healthy going into that opening gun round. Elian just being able to watch the gap in towards Condor, being able to see Duplicate, so Nate should be able to come in, finish off the job completely, even just a follow-up spam coming through for Nickelback. So far, so easy for Entropiq, but it might not be as simple as it has been so far. Once we get the rifles in, we'll see the NWP upgrade coming out for Denny. And for SKADE, we know that they don't mind the double AWPs as well. Of course, online banking payments is the bomb. Pay with Trustly. Seen a lot of bomb plans so far.
So far in this map up, I think it's been once every round for the most part. Yeah, pistol, conversion, eco. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And the guns also coming in for the CT side to see if they can stop some bombs getting planted, but won't be doing much to stop Trustly. Entropiq still rocking those Mac-10s for this bonus round. There's still a couple of players without helmets, so I can imagine that these could still get some money involved against Oxygen and Duplicate. That would be value gained here for the T side.
A little bit high with that nade placement out towards the T-ramp position, so the T's just going to be completely evaded. It is quite a slow walk aggressive play, and Rainwaker's got no info about it.
M4 holding out for position. Mac-10 will be able to push so far towards the A site. Rainwaker's walking with his back turn. Has no idea Nickelback's there. Great kill to start. Now Duplicate alone here towards the long control. Let's get that first frag on Elian, so trades are available. But a 4v4 scenario for the retake.
It's going to be a difficult retake. They need a little bit of another pick in. They find it out from long.
They found the kills on both of the AK players as well. Krad's going to be able to pick that AK right back up. Lackey gets dealt with the Mac-10 as Krad trades it back. It's still a 2 versus 3. Favor of SKADE. Damage being done to Duplicate. He's forced so far forward. Out in the open, out to that long entrance. Krad wraps in, finds his man, gets the kill involved, but turned back by Oxygen on the trade. The bomb's still in the open, and Nickelback's going to wait here. M4 in hand, takes his face, takes the kill on the first, trying to force the second off the bomb, and he will be successful in doing so. Oxygen's out of time at this stage. Nickelback can go down in this bonus round, but it's a bonus that goes the way of Entropiq.
And that whole situation just started with the lack of information from Rainwaker. He's playing in the bathrooms, no eyes on the site itself, no eyes out from that banana position, and it just gets to a stage where he's got no idea. He's trying to look back, he's trying to retreat back to site, just gets completely overwhelmed. Then he does a lot in terms of being able to get the advantage back to a 4v4 and follows up, but you can't just rely on him. They needed more out of that one.
And plenty done by Entropiq in that round. Half by involved by SKADE in round 5. We'll still see a couple of rifles, but Deagles and Kevlar without helmets. Entropiq in full control of this 5th and should be able to deal with SKADE pretty easily on paper. Again, it depends how Denny and Oxygen play this one out. Oxygen is ready to bottleneck them out of the monster control, but gonna walk out as he looks into the short control, flashes inbound to the CT side. Great kill for Forrester, doubling up so wonderfully there. They were Deagle players. The M4 still yet to strike and give away his position. And around the corner, Nickelback will cross with that bomb. They haven't checked it, so he gets his first kill in. Second, they trade it back to a 3 versus 3. Could be everything to them right now. Indeed, he swings on Elian, but Crad comes in from short, gets it a 3 versus 2.
This bomb is just being watched on for Denny, so for an eco so far, this actually looks decent.
Flashes will go over, however, and the Deagle of Rainwaker are going to start peeking in. Smoke up to suppress him over at the ramp position. Flashes also going over. Player is Brill's going to be the insurance policy. Deagle back down, can't deal with Rainwaker, and now Denny's got to save. 1v3 with the AWP, no kit, no util. It's best to hold it into the next round.
It just looks so much more composed here for Entropiq in the early stages of Overpass. And we know that out in Vertigo, they had a very good start, and then it got sort of out of hand very, very quickly. So we'll yet to sort of see if that happens at all. Seeing a couple of late lurkers from the T side going for a bit of a hunt. Crad all the way out towards a long position. So there might be a bit of a way in which the successful hunt comes in. But for Denny, he just holds back and plays passive. Should be able to hold on to the AWP.
Yeah, 5-0 the start for Entropiq. Things are doing pretty well for them. The odds are starting to shift back towards their favor here. Still slightly in favor of SKADE. But this is the back pick of the Entropiq side, and I'm not too shocked that they're making it work so well for them. And again, that last round was a pretty basic half buy for the CT side. So guns can be back out here. Double AWPs for Denny and Chips.
You need a change up. You need something to really strike, and this could be the opportunity in terms of the weaponry advantage they have. Denny trying to peek before the flash. Great shot coming through.
Nice start. What else is there? Not much, it seems. Just that first. Slow walks in from Entropiq will continue to hold their own positions, continue to press the issue. To walk out towards mid control as the CTs have backed off.
I like the way they're playing this 5v4, just giving up a lot of map control to the T side, not really having too many aggressive stances. Forrest is just waiting for a walkout.
You're found on duplicate. Forrester. For next, M4 wraps in. Nickelback gets his kills. Crad gets responded to. Denny so close towards Nickelback though, so it's an easy trade back for the AK, even though he's on 10 points of health. Smoke down as well. Nades up. Doing minimal towards duplicate and Ships, but still finds a bit of a line in for the bomb to get planted. Coming in from the bank entrance, so a default play could be enough to get at least that bonus cash.
Oxygen still hasn't rotated off for the B bombs. Like, they'll hear that bomb going down. They've got the numbers to go in for the retake with the advantage.
Shot on, missed out. Duplicate picks up the frag, and it's all left to Lackey. Landing leg shots, not the kills. Finally, an opportunity given up by Duplicate. Ships right around the corner, flashbang in the try-deal. With Oxygen off the angle here. Ship's going to force around the corner and give up his life. Lucky with a secondary pick and a triple. Oh, 1v3 for him. And SKADE just faced 1 by 1 in that position. And that cost them everything.
God, you could not have had an easier clutch than that. Great shots coming through for Lucky, but what a SKADE playing out there. They've got so many chances just to be able to swing together, and instead everyone just peeks 1 by 1. Ships just gets way too aggressive rather than waiting for that org to peek back in. And for Lucky, just connecting onto so many shots, continuing this streak of T-side rounds. And for SKADE, they're getting desperate at this point.
Yeah, this is Complete role reversal by comparison to the last map. And in fairness, Entropiq did go up to 6 in the start of Vertigo, and that's when SKADE started to turn it around, but this has not even looked close. At least those rounds were heavily contested by SKADE. Here, Entropiq are just walking all over the Bulgarians. Flashes over Denny with an eagle. Instantly dealt with by Lackey. Nice opening pick and damage done by the AWP towards Lackey's back. Unfortunately, he tagged him 54, but could be punishable here by the Eagles, but you don't really expect it.
Yeah, it's some advantage in terms of the HP numbers. Luckily enough, it's not a kill, so it's just only a tag, but SKADE, I mean, even in this round, they are going to start gamble stacking, just rotating the majority of players over towards this B side. Just keep Rainmaker and Con.
Digging in for oxygen ships. Hold on, they throw it back to a 3 versus 2. Nickelback trying to trade involved and gets a line towards 3 kills. So for a moment, it looked like it was going to go the way of SKADE, but only for a moment. I say that. Rainmaker's got a low HP bomb planter and he gets it to a 1v1. Trying to win the fight against Alien, but doesn't quite do so. So it's held together by Entropiq, but casualty sustained. 4 players went down.
Yeah, this is getting to a bit of a state where you could be really happy with the start, really happy with the 7-0 scoreline. But again, Jay, these are 2 rounds in a row that they've had to have some big clutches. A 1v3 and then a 1v1. Yeah, you can have a look at the circumstances and break the entire rounds down, but these are getting way too close for comfort.
And down to the wire. It was just pistols involved there for SKADE in that previous round. Force forward to the AWP. Denny trying to look for the first man out. The so AUG will start to rotate in with Duplicate, looking out to the wide hand position of the smoke, but not catching info on where Entropiq are. They're backed up outside of Monster.
You can see as soon as they hear that scope, they just start backing off, make a bit of a play out from Monster. Forrester's been seen, gets tagged up, but it's actually Denny that opens up in a con pick.
Crowd to fall. Nickelback trying to trade it. Doesn't see anything up on that boost position or towards that short entrance or flash his way out. Look past the sandbags. SKADE is so careful around this. They got that opening pick and was happy to fall back into passive positions in the previous rounds, which they got it. So 60 seconds and they're going to wait for the hit for Entropiq.
Trying to get this boost up, just hoping one of the cities are out towards the open. One out from Bowles is being watched. The ding comes in.
Entropiq is also a known entity here to Entropiq. He fired his weapon. I've also been spotted as well by the boosting player. But the Molotov will come out towards Toxic as Ship still gets his SMG kill in against Forrester and continues to extend out the corner. 4 versus 3 with 4 HP as well for Lackey. Still looking like a winnable situation for them, but SKADE are the ones in control. 30 seconds and they're going to have to make a move. They're going to go for a rotation here.
Rainmaker's going to be the nearest one to contact out from long, so he's going to start hearing these footsteps and he's actually going to get faced in.
M4 towards long, falls away. Back turner, that costs him. Nickelback with a trade. 1 player responding close in Denny Slaw. The AWP setting ready to cover him up, but the bomb's going to go down here. That's the most important thing for Entropiq. And indeed, Lackey turns that AWP into a kill. Got to secure that plant though. The kills come in at the wrong moment. 1v1. Ships is going to hold back and wait. And that's exactly what he'll do. Lackey trying to go for the wall bangs, but far, far out of position. And just letting that one angle face forward for SKADE cost Entropiq everything, the first on the board of the CT side.
Well, the whole thing there is that they just don't have a lot of time, so it gets very chaotic. They get a really good timing out from that long position. Rainmaker turning around and just not looking at the right place at the right moment. But then Ships comes quite quickly up from Connector. The rotates up from the B site too, up from the city stairs. They try and get in really quickly. And really has shown just how important these opening man advantages have been for the Entropiq side.
And they've been a little bit awkward in that particular exchange. The nade's doing tons of damage for Denny. Well placed for him to evade most of the damage of his own right. Dish out so much with his duel and his nade. And Entropiq starting to look very scrappy. The SMG for Oxygen now going to try and bottleneck them in alongside Duplicate on the crossfire. They are on the SMGs for this though. Batches in, he's blind as a bat still. Facing in with Oxygen, they get the kills between each other. Doubling up. 5 on 3, and look at the HP numbers for Entropiq. They can all fall down to MP9s here. Krad is going to spray back towards a 2 for 2 trade. But Ships is still on site here, and he's going to be ready to deal with Entropiq.
And they really needed to be able to even it up, but it just allows time for the rotations to come. There's already 2 on B.
Galil in, Ships comes up with that pick. Drops Nickelback 3 on 2 scenario. Krad trapping in, sees Ships, gets it back to a 2 versus 2. Rainmaker responds, Alien All that remains, AWP in a hand, trying to grab that bomb and get it planted in the midst of the smoke, or at least try and force Rainwaker out. Doesn't work against him, now he's going to have to stick the plant.
Oh, he's getting spammed up. They know that they've done some further damage. Elian, how does he even get back to safety? How does he isolate these picks?
Perfect chance on a Heaven player, and missing the shot on towards Denny. Not quite good enough for him. A second will be on the board here for the SKADE side. I mean, nicely and patiently done there for Denny and Rainwaker, knowing that they had the advantage. But the thing that the whole play sort of fell apart with 2 SMGs on a crossfire, like, how do you lose that much on the tees?
Yeah, it's decent positioning to start off from SKADE, even though Oxygen and a Duplicate are completely blinded in that setup, because they keep kind of pulling distractions between one another, and it means that Entropiq just have to keep looking left and right, and that they run through a monster resmoke, means that it's a little bit more difficult. Those early couple of players go in, but then the rest of the unit's kind of stuck behind the smoke. Even with that bomb plant, you had 1,900 loss bonus at the last, and the extra $800, it's still not a massive amount of money to follow, but they look like they are going to force it up, or at least go hero orb.
We'll find out specifics of the buy in a moment. Tactical pause being called in by Entropiq, and I guess now's the right time for them to be able to do so. Now's the right time to also remind you, then again, odds are available on Pinnacle.com on the latest in-play offerings for SKADE versus Entropiq. It's a promotion as well. When you bet €10, you can get €10 on esports matches. You can use the new customer code CUP21 as well. Yeah, we'll be able to see what the specific of the buy looks like in a moment here, but yeah, I'm going to go for the full investment. Rifles across the entire board. Mac 10 in for Nickelback. Elian's AWP play has not been as fantastic as you'd like to think about in this matchup, so is this really a good call for Entropiq?
Oh, you always want him on the AWP when you can, but you are right. Maybe they need to be able to set him up in a slightly different way, because even on the first map or in the second, hasn't been able to find a massive amount of impact with that AWP, just clearing out connector from the bottom up, and have not even taken a fight as of yet. Very cautious and passive from SKADE in the holds.
AWP in, shot missed out. Elian gets his pick. AK involved for Rainwaker. Gets one. Not quite that second. Crad can trade it. 2 for 1 of the response here. The M4 ship's going to try and look back into the back lines. See Forrester get his kill. 3 versus 3. Trades are still pretty even. The shots from Elian continuing to miss out.
Backstab gone.
Ships and Oxygen moving their way forward. You're right about this. They can hold off for long enough. Duplicate can basically win the whole round on his lone to me. He's actually going to wait for the rotations here. He's heard footsteps. They expect him to go back towards the B side, but they face him with a flash on Lackey, getting Ships, and now Duplicate can start pressing the issue.
Oh, they're watching out for him, but the enemy B can't hit the shot. Duplicate, they keep peeking back into him, and Lackey's now the last one left.
1 player left in Lackey. Here's the footsteps. Can't get the kill on the man. We'll try and drop down. Bomb's out of his position here in this round. We'll try and grab it and try plant it, but no matter where he goes, he's going to have to be open for one of these 2 CTs. 20 seconds left, looking in towards long, faced in towards the spawn angle, and there's Duplicate with the pick back. Securing that third for SKADE, and again starting to grind rounds back in against Entropiq.
And what scares me is maybe just the awareness here from Entropiq being a lot poorer than what it normally is for this kind of a team that plays at this kind of a caliber. We've seen so many times the backstab's in from Con, but yet I guess the NWP is watching out from it, but you can't afford a missed shot, can ya?
No, this is the sort of like main issue for Entropiq. Missed shots. 1 occasional missed kill, 1 hesitation move, 1 missed piece of utility. That's costing him everything here. SKADE are punishing every single mistake. The nade stacks punishing aggression here on the eco basis. Forrester immediately set to fall here in round 11.
It just looks like Vertigo. It's slightly similar, but it's so many similar characteristics. Rainwaker on a really wide angle. Boost coming through for the Deagle, trying to see if they could spot him out, and at least they do.
Facing forward. That's Nickel back into position to try and lead the charge. He's got the bomb on his back, so we've got to be a bit careful about that, but taps on, seeing nothing, gaining nothing. SKADE happy just to sit where they are, wait for the T's to come to them.
And just re-smoke out towards Monster, just try and drive the util down, force a little bit more of a slower clock here from Entropiq. And it does seem like there is some emphasis out towards the safe side. Denny with the AWP is going to get pressured in.
Lands one leg shot, not man the kill. She turns back towards Elian and deals with him. Meanwhile, the long player, the M4, drops the bomb and is back up. And Lackey 1 versus 5. The Eagle hoping to find some damage here, but not likely here in this one. And again, it was an eco for Entropiq, so can't take too much away from them. All 5 players alive. With SKADE, a rebuy is available here for the T side.
And get the investment forward, try and see if they can break the streak. Those odds, though, from Pinnacle do keep changing every now and then. It seems like at points we're favouring SKADE, then we go back over to Entropiq, especially at the early portion of this first half. But this could just be a whole map of just streak-based, just being able to really get a lot of confidence forward, gather a lot of momentum, because for Entropiq, it was 7 in a row, and now it's been answered back with 4 on the trot for SKADE.
Oh, Denny saw a small head of Elian popping up and ducking back down like a gopher. Evades the kill. Forces the CTs to fall back passive again. Entropiq know that SKADE like to just take this first aggressive face, go in, try get that opening frag and hit or miss. Fall back to standard defensive position, so they've got full reign of mid.
Jeez, that was so cheeky, wasn't it? Just that little bait shot, that little crouch, just give him a bit of a pixel, get the idea of where the AWP is, but he's repositioned out to long now.
Up in Elian, sees the man, but couldn't adjust to Denny. He faces back in for the second kill, on against Lackey for the third face. Thinks he might be there in the bathrooms, but knowing that he's way too far out in the open, seeing a flashbang as well, knows he's got to fall back.
Yeah, fall back, mate, 5 on 3. Might get caught off. Lackey at least does deal with him and sees the extra player out at long.
Knows that he's there in the corner as well. No way he could have crossed back to the site. Slow facing, no utility to force him out. He's just going to have to win this duel. He's lonesome. Spray back, the flashbang of a duplicate keeps him blind, forces the panic. Crowd can respond towards it, but still a man advantage for SKADE thanks to their efforts. And the AKF Forrester gets one. Needs to find duplicate in the back corner. No info, no idea. And the kill comes easy as Crad is on rotate right back into the B site, which is now open, so there can be a plant secured.
Smoke up to that heaven position. Just try and get the bomb down onto the site, but it all just comes down to how quickly these rotates.
Plant in, drop, nade, doing damage. AWP sees his man, but Oxygen still finds his pick, still finds the defuse, still finds fire for the CT side. And Entropiq, well, I mean, we did talk about the fact that in the last map they had that basis to work from the early start, looking at like a 6-1, 6-2 before SKADE started bringing it back. They only found one round after that. And I'm starting to see similar signs off the back of the 7-0 start. Been 5 in a row for SKADE. Entropiq have found no basis in these rounds.
And what I find even further crazy is the comparison in this game, right here in this best of 3, between Denny and Elian. There's not even a comparison. Like, normally it's like, oh, Elian is such a better AWPer, so much more class behind him. We're not seeing that, and Denny is playing at such a high level.
That's concerning again for Entropiq. We talk about Denny being one of their main men. I mean, you discussed the idea of, you know, who'd you rather have, an on-form AWPer or some on-form riflers, and well, Entropiq right now, they haven't really got either of them. And yes, the riflers were doing a fantastic job at the start of the map up. Lackey's on 11 kills, of course. We're still top fragging in the matchup. Or 12 kills, rather, but since that point, he's kind of like lost his touch, and Entropiq have not found any rounds. So I guess maybe to answer your question for the previous map, you probably want Elian to be the man that's really kicking and screaming.
Yeah, probably right about that. Another lean out towards this B site. Bit more dry and a little bit more silent in the approach. Forrester with a walkout from Monster.
He looks up. His footsteps, he ships dry face, gets his kill. Forrester is tagged low, but Oxygen is dealt with by Nickelback. So, 5 on 3. AUG still facing a duplicate, gets his pick involved. Nade close to the site here. Crowd's going to get tagged up heavy by the AWP on a leg shot. So, 3 on 3 is Denny's nade. Cleans up one more pick back. Elian responds towards one. Can't get a kill on Denny, though. Rainmaker working in from heaven. The man's been seen, and finally the M4 capitalizes. Back to 2v2. Player at Grill, player at Monster. That's the defensive setup here for Entropiq.
And they've got the information to work with, but they don't really have a massive amount of util. Smoke going down and at least flash 2. Forrester peeking out.
M4 diving. Smoke on the bomb. Running out of time here for Rainmaker. Can he get to the Ninja Diffuser? Going to have to do so or fall back, and he will opt to grab that AWP instead as Entropiq finally get to 8. Get to the half advantage for the T side. Damage has been done to SKADE. The economy should enable a buyback, but it won't be a confident one.
And that's just them getting overwhelmed, just not prepared really for that walkout. You can see the way in which the Ships is playing anti-flash out in Monster Wall. He's looking up to the short position, and they just get walked in. They've got no idea that that player is coming out because they don't have any information. They haven't re-smoked Monster. No one's jiggle peeking at all. And then for Oxygen, what can you expect from him? He's getting pressured, got to put a smoke down to the molly, try and fight the best that he can. Some decent returns in terms of the players on rotation, but overall, Entropiq just won that round as soon as they got the 5-on-3.
Forrester picks up the kill on Denny. Starts things off as Ships responds with an AWP back on Nickelback. 4 versus 4. Coming out of dodge here to the back lines of the A site. Krad's going to start working up towards connected position. AK involved to wrap up and look forward, but so far sees so little. SKADE's only real aggression here in the mid controls is one player at Bathrooms. Now focusing on a long control. Lackey caught Elliot next to face. Does get his trade back, so 3-on-3.
Jupiter going aggressive out towards his short water position might make a bit of a play up from Con. The only problem is, as soon as he opens up Con door, he gives away the element of surprise, and they might actually come to him.
That's what they're doing. AK of Krad checking all angles, opening up the door. Duplicate's so ready for this. Must hear some footsteps, must be aware of something, and the door has been opened. Takes up the Krad. Just against him on 12 points of health. He barely stays alive. SKADE on rotation with Oxygen in particular. Set towards Graffiti. The bomb can cross without him. Will get planted back. Nade on Forrester will do damage. Will not deny the plant.
Just trying to go for some more bag shots, but this has got to be another save. Double AWPs, not going to win a 2v3. And that was just class coming out from Krad. A really, really vital kill to come through in the 3-on-3. Because as soon as he gets it, it just opens up the B side.
Yeah, all important. This game was won by these rounds are being won by margins of singular frags. In 9th to the board of Entropiq. SKADE will need these double AWPs to go into round 15 with. One last opportunity available to the CT side to put some rounds up on the board before they go towards the T side half. And there's not a lot of cash involved for them. Entropiq are going to be up against 4-sport pistols and SMGs in a couple of lucky cases. They'll pass the AWPs back and around towards Denny. But there's really not a lot to work with here.
And for Entropiq, we know that once they get into that second half, that's probably where things get a little bit easier when they go into their city side. That's where, against the higher-end competition, where they put on the majority of their big performances, just looking to maybe get their way up to a double digits, it's very, very possible that they can get a 10-5 half from here.
I'd say it's likely to get a 10-5 half from here. SKADE ready to put some deagles to play, and the AWP shot of Nick Denny's going to miss out on the first kill. Duplicate caught by the nades on from the stack to the boost spot. One man down, perfectly timed there for Entropiq. Great start with the nades.
And SKADE, they probably going to start over-aggressing at this point. You've already lost a man advantage. You don't have the best of buys. You're looking for any kind of sloppiness, any kind of way to catch the T's off guard, and Ships just peeking in dry.
There you go, one kill to Forrester. One man to fall, but other than that, not much else being offered up here by the T-side line, trying to slow walk out to the connected controller. The Eagle is ready for it on Rainwake. Oh, sees his head pop up and flicks towards Krad immediately.
Mate, what a deagle shot coming through. And now he's just going to push aggressively.
There's an AK in his hand. He can do that. Imagine he ciphers off Nickelback. Nickelback might dive down the ladder. Oh, Rainwaker takes this fight, sees his man. Oxygen gets Lackey, meanwhile out towards Monster. So they're turning this around. A 4 versus 2 SKADE. With mostly Deagles in play now. 2 AKs and 2 AWPs with 2 players left at the T-side line. 30 seconds. That bomb's going to rotate.
They're running out of time. They've got to get a move on. And now the footsteps are being heard. The cities know exactly what's on.
Walk in for Denny. Caught looking the wrong way to Elian. Can get a pick back by an entry line in towards the A site. And Ships is still going to be here close with the AWP. What can he do with it? Not much, it seems. They're going to have to wait for his teammates to get in positions for the retake.
And they're trying to fake that a player's coming up for connector. Elian gets another pick in the round. They don't know about Rainwaker at long.
Taps forward, but misses his shot. So 2 versus 2 winnable with Rainwaker being on 19 points of HP. Smoke back down, but a gap in it. And Elian's going to wrap in to try and focus fire on his one man. Meanwhile, as a player making his way up to the site itself, it's Oxygen with a defuse kit. Tapping up on once, trying to force Elian to peek up here. Flashbang turned away from, and he still wins his quadra. Still wins that 10th for Entropiq. Too close in that last round, though. SKADE almost had it.
Yeah, they did. That's disappointing for the Bulgarians that they did not capitalize on that 4-on-2 advantage. They heard the footsteps. Don't really know why Denny is so aggressive with the AWP. He could have played back passive towards Dumpster or Bank, or just played an angle in which that even if he gets swung on by a different portion of the site, he's not going to get as pressured as he did. Have a look at some of these prediction trackers and just see the way that Entropiq have pretty much led from the front this entire map.
Was that big comeback moment where SKADE started to return the odds back in their favor, but obviously Entropiq have still maintained their dominance and maintaining it into the second half. A tactical timeout prior to the pistols. Moments respite for them before we get started in the half.
Entropiq can be, I want to say, happy with the scoreline at 10-5, knowing that they've had an okay showing here on Overpass. But there are still a lot of mistakes coming through. It probably isn't the best Entropiq that we've seen over the course of the last couple of months or so. And I really hope that that does fuel maybe both of these teams going into map 3 to see a little bit more class from the two, because these are two very capable teams that haven't quite shown the full factor, I want to say, from themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, we've talked about how SKADE can hit ridiculously high highs, championship winning highs. And Entropiq, they've been overdue a title for a very, very long time here. Bit of a long tactical pause. Did they call a second one while we were off camera? I think they might have done here.
Yeah.
Well, Entropiq definitely want to take the full extent of this halftime break. And the pistol round set to go live here for the T side. It's a very important one for them to take. SKADE. Double flash and smoke set for Rainwaker. Glocks across the board. Double flash diffuse for Crowd with USPs across the board. Entropiq not going for anything special here.
SKADE might just want to try and see if they can regroup, have something slightly quick, just get a quick heaven smoke in. Seems like it's a fast play out from Monster.
In Nickelback jump facing as one player being caught off first. Lucky with a double up, drops that bomb. Looks back in towards short with his teammate watching out from the monster control. Alien bails him out towards ships his kill. Crowd finds Rainwaker, and it's clean-up time for Entropiq. Find them up and start sweeping because they have the pistol round.
All right, there we go. That's what I want to see. SKADE going in for something very quick, something pretty ballsy out from Monster, and Entropiq just slapping them about. Some really good duels get won. Lucky opens up with the opening man advantage, and from there, it just seems like everything just filtered into the hands of the Russians.
And the basic eco for SKADE in the second round as well, looking to get money out in a early rifle round basis, as opposed to the previous map where they go similar on the Entropiq camp. Nades up, face forward, Nickelback. Ready with his rifle. Lucky barely gets away with the trade frag. A kill on Oxygen. SMG sees what's going on here. A lot of information to gain here. T-side players will face, and everyone will fall. Bomb dropped 1 versus 5. None versus 5. 12-5 for Entropiq.
Yeah, it was nice and confident. Lucky pretty much just calls it out straight away that he's getting tagged up by so many Glocks. Yeah, pretty much everyone's there, so might as well get the SMG forward, get the FAMAS to back you up, and just get the round over and done with pretty quickly. Lead up by 7, and for SKADE, they're running out of opportunities now.
Yeah, very similar to Entropiq when they were back on the back foot in the previous map up. Except just reverse the roles of the teams themselves. SKADE have guns at least to work with here for round 18. Smokes in, nades out, face in for Denny. Sees the first and gets killed off by Crad. Instant start there with the SMG.
Elliot's just still waiting around, getting a kill over the top of that smoke, looking for a little bit more. Oh, just makes it look too easy. I love the confidence there from the CT side. As soon as you think the aggressive move has come through from Crad, there's another one, Duplicate just running through the smoke. This round is over. This round is so done.
Yeah, Rainwaker 1 versus 5, and how good have Entropiq looked here on the start of CT. AUG for Elian, set with his kill, set with a triple, set with a 13th. And honestly, this half could be over so quickly.
You're not right. Like, you get into a stage here where 3 more rounds. I don't even know if SKADE are gonna get another one. They're gonna be able to force it up. They're running out of money. They're running out of bomb plants, and just the bait and switch. Crad goes aggressive. You think, okay, they've made the aggressive move. They've got 5-on-4. They're gonna fall back. We'll get a little bit complacent, and then Alien just punishes you for it.
Last rush in from SKADE in this round. Mac 10 out of the gate here for Oxygen, and the SMG spray from the CT player out there has gone right past them. Forrester still gets his US Pico on duplicate. Rainmaker can trade it, and Nickelback able to respond with the FAMAS in the back, alongside Alien clearing out with the backstab. 3 versus 4, 1 versus 4, and Lucky 2 picks on the return. So nothing was really lost there for Entropiq. 14-5, SKADE trying for the rush. Trying in vain.
And getting to a bit of a position now where kill distribution has been excellent, I want to say, for both sides, but just a little bit more high impact, I want to say, from Entropiq. We're seeing a lot more deeper numbers coming through from some of their individuals. Lucky in particular had a very good start to the map, got very quiet, now stepping it up on the city side. And for SKADE, the buyback comes in, and this is last chance saloon. This is the last opportunity.
Yeah, if they don't get this, it's done. And then we're going to map 3 in very, very quick fashion. Entropiq a fight back from the brink here in this series. Crad already gets Oxygen to fall. And, well, I mean, I know that a lot of people might have been very impressed with Entropiq in that previous map up, but knowing it was their opponent's map pick and coming out this good in your own pick, it definitely feels like it might be part of the course here. 2 players left standing as Crad gets another kill on Rainmaker, and Denny in duplicate. Hey, surely they can't do anything in this.
You can't expect so. They've got hardly any util. They've got a couple of flashes. They can walk out by Monster, but even with the aggressive play out from Park, from Forrester, that's just going to rotate the A players back into B.
M4 watching, no pixel seen. Seeing the shoulder now. Spray does not quite win up the frags on those 2 players, but they are tagged heavily, so should be easy pickings for the rest of the CT forces. Maybe Nickelback could also end up for him, but Spray through, duplicate, tagged up heavy. Crad gets the kill involved. Duplicate on 1 point of health. No way he's winning that. And 10 map points for Entropiq to work with. SKADE looked all right in the first half, not so much in the second. Looks like we'll go towards the 3rd map.
It just looks comfortable, really, for Entropiq. You give a bit of a sequence up of 5 rounds in a row, bit of frustration maybe coming through from SKADE, because those 5 rounds in a row we did see from them looked to be quite impressive. We saw a couple of retakes coming into the mix, but really, they just have not been able to manage much at all here on Overpass, and it's showing by the scoreline, it's showing by the result.
Yeah, this has not been their maps to take, and we know Entropiq are fantastic on this one, as they prove, as Alien just taps up to the head of the first player. They didn't even need to go for a spray. 2 shots, first one connected. Denny does trade Lucky at least, so there's something back here towards the Monster control as they focus fire on the BXE.
Resmo goes down, just disallows any kind of aggression to go forward. Someone's going to have to go back and get that bomb, though. It's still back at T-Con.
There's another player in Denny, so it's less an option for them to go back for it. Ships will start the rotations. They're pushing towards Monster, though. Still focusing on the defaults here. They've got a little over a minute, so there is time to work with, but no bomb means no plant, and probably needs no round as Crad and Forrester pick up the next couple of kills. 1v4 for Rainmaker. Nickelback does give up the fight on the map, but all they got to do is hunt for the kills back. He gets a 2nd kill involved. Down to 50 points of health, though. He's got to consider the bomb at this stage. 50 seconds, got to pick it up.
Got to go back for it, and there is a way in which you can go for a big backstab play, but just peeks in towards the fight, gets Entropiq up to 16, a comfortable showing for them on Overpass, but don't go anywhere. Dust 2 will be the last map of this best of 3, up after this.
Well, the three-map affair does go to full distance, but both sides looking shaky on their opponent's map picks. Dweg going into Dust 2, I guess you could consider it a bit of even territory, but honestly, for me personally, I don't know how you weigh this up anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm split down the middle because both teams really didn't look that impressive out on their opposition's map pick. So going into Dust 2, anything is possible.
It really is, and we don't just say that to be, you know, as a bit of a cop-out. Like genuinely, I've had some difficulty sort of like just weighing it up. Like, with teams of this caliber, you hope that they'd be able to hold some decent confidence on those map picks. But you mentioned how the Punishers have come forward from the likes of SKADE, and they've punished pretty effectively. Entropiq's strongest map in the pool coming out on the likes of Overpass, but again, you would hope there'll be some level of confidence coming in from the respective sides. That's not really happened in this one, so Dust 2's all to play for. And again, elimination up for the team that loses this third and final map of the series. Pistol round with SKADE on the T-side start. Utility in the duplicate, and Denny's also got a P250. And the USP of Crad takes first challenge, sees them in the lower tunnels. Going to draw their attention up towards short. Look for Alien, who gets that first kill, drops that bomb, and that second kill. Back on Crad's part. The crossfire locked, the nades involved, the suppression with damage being done. And Alien's looking for a bit more of a face. More kills to go his way. Make it a triple. Not quite a quadra, but Rainwaker is all alone.
Just an excellent bait there in towards the lower tunnels. You can see the tower boost coming through at the short. They're just trying to get eyes down onto that lower tunnels position and just pull the distraction away from Alien. Him and Krat just working together and then even getting flashed in to go further aggressive.
So much damage done by Alien in that round. A bomb being dropped and all towards his position, of course. 3 kills. Rainwaker's got to get 4 to try and hold this together, and so long as the CT's just crossfire, I mean, there's only really a couple of options that Rainwaker can take. They know he's not going to aggress fully up towards the lower tunnels to grab that bomb. He's got to go down at some point, though. The pistol round is not worth saving. It would be more detrimental to the economy game of the T side. We'll face out towards Lucky, see him smoke down towards the doors, but nowhere near fast enough to Bloom. Forrester gets his kill and gets the pistol for Entropiq.
At least we know that on Dust 2 recently, it's been a very strong map coming through from the SKADE side. They had a bit of a streak earlier in the month of about 6 maps in a row. Then they lost to Endpoint and Double Pony. But then only recently they've been able to follow up against Harvu and Sprout, some decent teams in the Tier 2 divisions. But right here in the pistol, didn't seem like it was much of a competitive affair at all. Easy pistol round coming through from Entropiq. And for SKADE, without bomb plant, just clock it out.
One Deagle involved for ships, but that's about it when it comes to the upgrade pistol basis. As you mentioned, just Glocks set in for the SKADE camp. Jump facing here. SKADE trying to see if they can bait Entropiq to force forward. So far, so little has been gained. It's just map control on the contact doing damage towards Lucky, to their credit. So forces the M4 down 11 points of health. Not really expected there for Entropiq, but Crad still finds the pick of the SMG and continues to regress.
Ships with this Deagle, this is going to be able to punish. This could open up an avenue for a quick B take.
Well, they might have to rotate as well. The nades involved, they actually do catch Lucky here. Counter nade does come back from Forrester, who does deal with Denny's slaw, but Ships finds the headshot outside of the site. So it's a 3v2 now as the bomb can get planted.
Oh, don't tell me they're going to lose this. Not to a Glock round with a single Deagle upgrade. They've got weapons to work with now.
And in the nickel back. Being faced in upon by Ships. He's got 3 kills so far in this matchup in this round. Smokes up. Suppression down towards the tunnels. Flashbangs over. SMG burst through. Gets his kill. Looks to double up. Alien so known here in the Deagle. Faces. Quadra out for Ships. And another steal for SKADE.
I actually do not know what is going on in that round whatsoever. Why are we seeing over-aggression from the city side of the upper tunnels? The nade placement is absolutely perfect towards the back of the site itself. Another great Deagle shot following up from Ships, but that's just embarrassing. They've got $700 of upgrade in that last round.
Yeah, this has not been fantastic. Not fantastic at all. Entropiq down to their own sort of half buy eco, or I guess forced buy actually, with the money down to $100 odd. Trying to get the upgrade pistols involved for Crad. Does get a couple of Deagle shots in. Okay, 3 picks to his name, but Denny is able to get the trade. One unchecked angle may have brought back a chance.
Yeah, this is a chance now. And Forrester, he's going to hear the footsteps of them coming into lowers. Can he read the play, though? Rainwaker's on the other side of the doors. The Eagles are going to have to find the instant shot. Oh, goes back over to his knife. Doesn't quite happen. Oh, it's almost a little bit sad, isn't it? What the hold that was from Crad.
We came into this map not knowing how to weigh it up, but I guess that these rounds have definitely not helped to that factor. Ecos that have gone well, forced buys with deagle shots. Now an eco set for the USPs of the CT side. Watch that again from the likes of Crad. Perfect kills. Headshots in every single one, by the way. No player was a body shot. Such patience and presence of mind as the MAC-10s force forward and Nickelback gets burnt the 3 points of health outside of the mid doors. Starting this round easy enough for SKADE, and it should just be easy cleanups as well for the T-side line.
Ship's just being able to farm up a fair bit. A little bit of a bait and switch going up towards CT, but the pistol's just being farmed up pretty easily. Alien just looking to back off and save. And what I always think is an interesting talking point, Jay, is it's always a conversation starter that when you kind of go down to tier 3, tier 4 with some of the like really low-end teams, it's just madness. It's just absolute wild, so much randomness going on. You sometimes even get that with the heights of tier 2. I mean, these are two teams that are both in the top 30 in the world, and Dust 2 has just been so insane in the first, like, 3 or 4 rounds we've seen so far.
Well, we started off this series at a scrap fest, and it looks like we'll end it that way as well. At least SKADE pull ahead 3-1 up here on T-side. Should be a buyback as well for the CT side at long and last, conceding that little bit of loss bonus. Bolstering up to all the rifles involved here for them.
Yeah, SKADE have, for the first time, really got off to a good start on one of the maps in the series. They got off to a slow start on map 1, got off to an even slower start on map 2, now up 3-1, trying to see if they can get a little bit more movement forward. We're seeing the CTs try and take this early long control, but for the most part, SKADE are a little bit more intent with the aggression out from mid.
Yeah, Oxygen leading that charge straight into the short control. Molotovs down onto that presence. They will force the player at elbow to fall away. Nades on towards the CT spawn as well. Crad still watching out of CT in towards mid, so very much that util can do. Oxygen continuing to press up here, taking some damage to the M4 spray. Leads to the kill of Ellie, and eventually comes forward with that last bullet of the magazine. They're going to try for the execution. Someone's going to go back for the bomb. It will get picked up by Rainwaker. Player on site has still been spotted. Crad trying to support with his own utility. Alien tagged up to 39. They're suppressed behind the smoke here. How do the T's act towards this?
They need a pick. They need to be able to open up the bomb site just to get the bomb back into the short position. Alien just peeking up, doing even further damage. Can't quite follow up with any more.
And Gooch down, shipped to 10 points of health. So 4 versus 3 with Entropiq at a HP advantage as well. M4's looking back of Crad, still going to hold for his chance. The smoke comes up to press that vision. The player also at CT, waiting for an opportunity to strike, but the bomb plant will just be secured here. Crad's going to get to the site now. Try to go for the early retake, find ships, find Rainwaker. Nor Denny is the last man left. 1 versus 4, AK in hand. Isolate every individual that he can. Sees Lackey at least, but Lackey gets his pick. Entropiq will find 2.
That's a very strong defensive and even a better retake. Alien out on the site itself. Seemed like he was running out of bullets, but dealt with that early aggression out from short. Fell back to ramp, had that utility by himself and from some of his teammates just to assist him for a little bit more. And Crad's even got the confidence to go quite aggressive on that retake.
Pinnacle odds have it set a dead even at this moment. Appropriately so, as this matchup has been a back and forth to start things off. Again, we had that 3-round streak, but Entropiq still within 1 of that lead. The guns out, it really could swing either way at this moment. Still a little bit of cash in reserve for the T side, so they have a bit of a fallback.
Yeah, we were split when we came into starting this best of 3. I think you went 2-1 Entropiq, I went 2-1 SKADE, and it is showing that how much of a close margin these whole rounds can be, how close some of these maps can be, and even going into map 3, how contentious it's been so far. Great flashing for the city side. Crad's gonna drop down to city spawn.
Bring it out towards that mid-to-B play and stop it from SKADE. They can put those smokes up and counter utility flashbangs over. Swinging from Forrester as Lackey does get 1 good trade back, but he's alone on the B site. Now got to deal with these tunnels players. Drops Rainwaker. Bombs on its way in. Oxygen takes the swing, takes the frag, takes the site, and a 3-on-2 advantage.
Nickelback at least sees the mid player. Oh, struggles to get that kill forward, but it's just all time wasting.
Not much of it has been wasted, though. He can still rotate back into position. It'll take some time for him to go all the way back up from mid, though. Crad walking in with the M4, smokes down at the doorways. Flashbang forward for his teammates, though. Crad has the flash in his own hands. Flash is going over from the T-side line, and Crad just peeks dry, gets dealt with, spray back and Nickelback. Doesn't get oxygen, he's down to 34 points of health, but he returned to 17, so gotta grab the AK, just gotta save it, and C4 back to SKADE.
And really, out of anyone on this lineup, I think Oxygen's probably the guy that gets criticized the most as maybe being the weaker link, or the one that's maybe not so much talked about in a bit more of a positive light. But even in that round there, he really shows what he offers to this team in terms of the supportive nature, in terms of some of those kills, just entries out towards the B side, just so clinical and so quick.
Lead re-extended here by the SKADE side, trying to put as much distance as possible between them and the CTs. Pacing of these rounds can start to get a little bit ridiculous at certain points, but Elian with the first contact out towards that long control. They need to fall. AK here for Oxygen, only finds Forrester. Lackey trades it. Still been such a solid holder towards his B site thus far in this game, but overwhelmed by the HP numbers, and eventually Duplicate takes the pick back. 3 on 3. He's low HP. Rainwalker comes up with a frag. Nickelback trades it, but you're right about this mid-walk. Ship's going to catch the AWP off guard. Elian burning to 18, and that pulls distractions out of the bomb to cross and get planted here.
Duplicate's actually slowed it down. Rather than just getting that bomb planted, he's waiting for Ships to double dip back out from mid. What a sick round from SKADE. The way in which they lose that first draw from the AWP contact out from long, they go for an aggressive stance towards a B site take, get the early one-on-one trade, overwhelm the car player so easily, and the CTs are like, right, we've got to get chaotic, we've got to get quickly out towards that B side, and then Ships is there to deal with the rotators. What a mad call. That was such an awesome round.
That really was. Good stuff set in. And SKADE proving to be the better team at this moment here. In round 8, and Entropiq really not going to be able to post up any resistance or any argument to that fact. Nickelback. He get involved, trying to find something alongside Elian here. Pushed up that Deagle, perhaps on Elian's part. They're going to wait for the Molotov instead. That drives him away. And again, they walk out from the mid doors, straight towards B. Got only Forrester and Lackey here. Good shot by Forrester, lands that first kill.
And they need a little bit more because the aggression's just not going to stop, is it? Getting into position, Forrester just going to start getting overwhelmed.
Lackey overwhelmed back, Ships gets involved. Forrester with good deagle shots at this moment. Elian dropping in turn. Crad on his way to rotation, but Forrester just can't hold on for long enough. P250 might catch Ships here towards the mid position, but 1v3 for him. That's the best he's going to find. But the exit frag saved the rifle. And even then, he's not even pressing at the right angle.
Yeah, might hope for something, but really for SKADE, very simple second round. They don't lose a massive amount. Denny's even got eyes out towards CT. See if he gets baited by a bit of a shoulder peek. Crad's still holding back a little bit further. Trying to see if he can recover one of those weapons out from mid, but Chips is going to say, nah, mate, that's not going to happen.
Sure that no rifles fall in the hands of the last CT player. Yeah, 3 players out in that position now. He's got no chance of doing anything. Chips going for the knife. Nice attempt, but that's cost him the rifle. Damage has been done to the T-side economy, but it should be okay because it's still about 10 grand on Denny's part of the high roller, and thereabouts for the rest of the players as well.
Honestly, I look at players like Crad and Forrester and think, thank goodness they got picked up to this team, because honestly, that whole lineup towards the back end of Hard Legion, your Kinky, Savat, and what was it, Speedak as well, those guys have gone nowhere since then.
This team has gone many different places, including to this 6-2. Tactical timeout coming in for Entropiq. The right kind of time to do so here. They have kind of been locked out. A couple of good rounds here and there, but it's SKADE the ones with all the momentum here, Dwayne.
Yeah, it is. They're looking decent in the forward face so far in Dust 2. It seemed like that whole eco round victory kind of swung a fair bit of momentum back over their way, but So far, not really much in terms of follow-ups to come through from Entropiq. All individual rounds so far. They are going double AWP setup onto both Elian and Falaki.
A big green's out and about. Oxygen and duplicate. Face up as Denny starts making his way in. Forrester with the M4. Molotov setting ready for Oxygen's part. Here they come on SKADE. Lackey backed up towards the window as his teammate up on the boost spot. Flashes over, blinds him off. Kill on the first player. Lackey can trade it back. What more can he get on this? Second shot not connected to anybody. Tries his best, but is overwhelmed by utility and numbers game. And it's a 4v3. Entropiq are already saving.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, SKADE love B-side Xs on Dust 2. And out of all the teams that we've got in the Pinnacle Cup, I could see SKADE hitting B 15 times out of 15 rounds on Dust 2 because it gets to a bit of a moment where if it keeps working and you keep finding success, why change it up? Why even have emphasis towards that A site? We've seen the mid to B splits, we've seen the walkouts, and even in that time, the AWP was in a decent reposition there for Lucky to get back into the site, have that crossfire, but it was just how instant that first kill came out to Forrester, and they just put so many nades down on the site. Lucky is just eating flash after flash after flash, and even the mollies are in and around him.
These slight differences being made here by SKADE are just making Entropiq feel so awkward in this map up. It's not like Dust 2 is a map they don't play either. As I mentioned before during the pregame, this is one of their highest played maps in the entire pool. Not often picked, but they've got victories against some very capable squads, including Virtus Pro, for instance. So why is this looking as awkward as it is? Entropiq are asking the question themselves. Another tactical coming in for them.
Yeah, it's been very sour so far for Entropiq. Not a lot of success coming through. Oh, God, Denny, we want to see the face, mate.
I don't think he realized he just stuck his bottle directly in front of himself.
Got to stay hydrated.
Yeah. Got to stay hydrated to stay quick. And speaking of quick, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow placements. Slow placements? Slow payments. Let's try see if I can say the words right. Choose Trustly to make your payments flow quicker from account to account. No cards, no app, no download, no registration, no nothing. Try making payments with Trustly at pinnacle.com/odds, where you find the odds, of course, in play for Entropiq versus SKADE. And actually, we got a lot coming up a little bit later in Harvu versus Ench. You want to be looking forward to that one. Up in for Denny Slaw, tagged up to 4 points of health. Elian finds the first pick on ships in mid, though. That's a great start.
Just a couple of punishments to start off in that round. First of all, missed AWP shot, do a lot of damage onto Denny, and then Elian just takes his own mind, get aggressive out from mid, push through the molly, wants to have another play out from short, and he hits the follow-up.
Nicely done the Rain Waker. Then he goes down next to players standing now for SKADE. Duplicate tapping his way on with Molotovs, and AK shot around the corner. Flash is involved. The T-side line blinding off there, and teammates don't want to dry face out towards mid. Oxygen smoke out to the left as opposed towards the CT spawn itself, and it's a 1v5 for Duplicate. That's more like it for Entropiq. Far, far better for them in this round, and now they need to carry it forward to the rest of the game.
And pretty much as soon as it's a 3v5, you just get SKADE looking individual. They're just looking for any kind of a pick. Duplicate can't even find anything out from long. Crowd adjusts back over to that left-hand side. What a perfect round for Entropiq.
Yeah, they look great. Look really, really great right there. But again, my concern is can they carry it forward for the rest of the game?
Yes.
Because we've seen how individual these rounds have been. The pistol gained, one rifle in round 5, that very confident round we just saw right there. But there's a rebuy inbound for SKADE, so it's no guarantees for Entropiq.
No, not at all. Individual rounds have been their worst enemy so far out on this map of Dust 2. Fast play out from long. Very, very quick for the Ts.
Ships here with the AK set and ready. Expecting there to be a CT player to regress towards pit or somewhere around the outside of that smoke, but no one's seeing anything. No one from Entropiq is challenging that far. They're actually going to back off into the short control in Nickelback's case. Krad's going to be there to join him. No one's watching long at all here for Entropiq.
And they just give it up, but they make sure that they're making info plays elsewhere on the map. If you give up long, you've got to make a play elsewhere. They're aggressing up from short. They don't know about the player in lower. This could just be a 5-on-5 retake, honestly.
Could well be. They're flashing their way forward to deal with that lower lurker. The Rain Waker giving up his position. Focusing in as Lackey going to focus here towards the cross. He's let them all pass, though. Duplicate tag low. And they realise that A's have been taken here for the CT side. Got to set up for the retake, but they've got to worry about that mid lurk.
They know that he's here, but they've got to deal with him, and Rainwaker's just going to waste time. Oxygen gets a big kill onto Crad, and now starts moving out from long.
And now rotations involved as the long flank was involved for Crad's part. He did take a kill back of his own right as Lackey gets a kill of his own. Ships caught on sight. Duplicate facing in, dealt with by Nickelback. Such low HP for the man. And now 2 left to stand. Now 1 man to stand. Rainwaker, 1 on 4. He's got those 2 kills somehow. Looking for the 3rd pick on Lackey. Continues to spray. He's out of ammo. Glock rounds the corner. It's a full 1v4 for SKADE's 8th. What a play!
Oh my goodness, what a clutch coming forward for the SKADE side just when they need it most. And now that sort of resets the money into not a great state again. Individual rounds only coming through for Entropiq. What more can they do? A 1v4 clutch. That is class.
Oh, Rainwaker. Watch it again. Enjoy it. Raining bullets down across the entire CT board. What a play. And what an 8th there for SKADE. They will be well chuffed with that. They were dead to rights. They were so done in that round. With a tenacity to keep it together. Entropiq will be disappointed with that one, I think. Fast plays out towards mid-play, and Lackey's going to kick things off again with a kill on Oxygen. Continue to face out towards that mid-presence, and Duplicate, oh, not seeing that gap in the smoke. He should be seen now. No, he snuck past. Forrester can still deal with him.
A good crossfire being set up by the city side, just both players backing each other up, and for SKADE, they're just getting picked apart. Lackey now in towards the side with the AWP. They know where the last couple of players are. Forrester getting involved, Denny down the last one left, needs a 1v5. Gonna get away with nothing. Entropiq just having a very clear indication of what SKADE were doing in that round.
Just dealing with it effectively again, trying to continue to mount up these individual rounds and try and turn it into 2 in a row. Still, SKADE have the potential to fight back, so don't count them out at any one point here.
Yeah, even the eco, don't count them out, honestly.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
And especially with these deagles in, headshots aplenty, can be discovered. Crad out of dodge as the AWP in for Elian. Out towards that mid-presence. Crad sees his man spray through, can't get the pick back. AWP in for Elian, lands on Rainwaker. Crad follows suit to Duplicate, so looks like this eco will go about as well as ecos go.
Yeah, Elian's finding some really decent form. Good pick comes through from Oxygen out from the short position itself, but that bomb is still trapped up towards top mid, so they just need more fights, and it's just not going to happen.
Now this deagle. Bomb well out of position, well out of chances. Nothing can be gained here for SKADE as they have to concede that 5th to Entropiq. AK does find at least 1 pick back. Oxygen got to find that AWP though, and Lackey's not missing. Not going to give that away, not going to give that even the chance to breathe. 5th to the board again for the CT side, double AWPs in. Money's a little bit weird, but they're going to go for the buyback here, SKADE.
Yeah, it was just a harsh hit going that last one, so buy it up, give yourself the weaponry forward in terms of the rifle round. Ships has been really impressive, though, in Map 3. He was very quiet in Map 1, very quiet in Map 2. Individually has not been able to have a very good series overall, but he's leading right now on T.
Flash in over, Duplicate taking face, Ships involved, shot missed out for the AWP, and Ships can punish on Crad. Look for Elian as well, just about missing it. Rainwaker can turn it back. 4-on-3 scenario, Duplicate makes it 2 now. Nickelback and Forrester, now just Nickelback. Taps attempted, Oxygen will fall, and Rainwaker on site, so going to plant safe towards it. Nickelback does isolate a secondary kill though. Looks for the 3rd man, but cannot make it a clutch. As good as they'll try, Rainwaker he is not. It's 9-5 for SKADE.
How is that possible? That was so pacey coming through from SKADE, and even after the AWP misses that shot, Nickelback has got to be there to trade. That's why they've got 2 players aggressive up from short, and somehow they just completely overwhelm. This is just poor holds coming through from Entropiq, and for SKADE, it seems like this whole aggressive and sort of pacey sort of style for them on T-side has granted so many opening duels, and there's another one.
Well, Lackey just can't scheme to find the trade as well on Denny Slaw. Flash forward, incendiary out, M4 face, Rainwaker catches the man. bail out his teammates, allow no kills to go the way of Crad, so great flash involved, but just not to be. The AWP of Lackey turned away from with the utility down. Smokes towards the cross at CT spawn, but SKADE rotating right up towards the tunnels, only Forrester to find them.
Yeah, he needs something huge, because those rotations are going to be so slow. The only player at the B side, he does have an incendiary at least.
Not going to use it. He's going to try to get back on the boost spot, though, for Mars. Looking down on towards those smokes, has not caught oxygen. Let several players cross back, gets that kill in on ships. What more can he do? FAMAS out, can't make it to the AWP involved. It's too many players to find, too many angles to hold, too many angles to kill off, and Nickelback 1 versus 4, can't even get duplicate. 10-5 for SKADE. Stellar T side, and like you mentioned, Dwayne, they look good throughout.
I don't want to overhype them at all, but that T side I saw in Dust 2 is going to be one of the most beautiful T sides I've seen in months. Yeah, it's only 10-5, it's not 15-0, it's not 12-3 or just something ridiculously one-sided, but just in terms of the calling, the entries, some of the decision-making infantry, it just seemed that everything was as good as it really can be.
It really was.
Oh boy.
The winner predictions tracker definitely favors the likes of SKADE at this moment. You can see the trajectories of where things can go depending on the round wins. Do not look great for Entropiq at the moment. Oxygen duplicate going to make it even worse. 2 great picks to start off the pistol round. Downstairs in the lower tunnels, Nickelback and Forrester have already fallen.
At a situation in which now SKADE just fall back, they play the 5-on-3. They've even got a little bit more of a lean out towards this B site, and for Entropiq, they're just desperate for any kills.
Enietzel, Dennis Law facing Alien. PT50 picks up a headshot, and man advantage for SKADE. This one, Oxygen ready for Alien. Alien rounds that corner. Great shooting from him. 2 kills. PT50 involved duplicate. USP sees his man, can't land the shots continuously face in, and Alien gets a triple as well. Over the line for the bomb site, the bomb plant.
A very good recovery in for the D side. Alien with his P250 could be on for more.
And Waker moving in slowly, ships his footsteps still, draws the attention back as Alien gets his quadra. And now Ships left to clutch it here for SKADE. Entropiq doing so much on this one. But can Ships pull off something absolutely nuts of his own right? Back turn, looking towards the back lines of the site, and Lucky still gets his kill in. An all-important pistol for Entropiq, and really, Alien deserves all the credit for it.
Yeah, he does. SKADE didn't really do a lot wrong there. Maybe there was a bit of an overface out from mid, but just the shots were so on point for Alien. Just being able to bring back a 3 versus 5, open up the bomb site, even follow up with a quadra. And for SKADE, they are going to be forcing back in. Couple of scouts upgrades coming through for both Denny and for Ships. Decent long spawn to start off from Crad.
Scout in for Denny. Looking over. Almost got that headshot, but got tagged back instead by Alien's part. So the scout on the T side does one better. No kills as of right now. SKADE would love to get that much of an advantage above Entropiq, but weapon advantage favors the T side here.
It's very telegraphed of what Entropiq are going for, just leaving the scout in from the T-spawn itself, getting just that long corner smoke out, and just a little bit of util. So SKADE will have a pretty good idea that they've just taken long, but they might not know if there's a mid-lurk or just any kind of lurk out towards the upper or lower tunnels for that matter.
Ships continuing to face and eventually will fall. We'll start off for Forrester. Duplicate tapping away with an eagle. Back up there. 2 taps from Oxygen. Let's try back on Aliens. There's 1 good responsive. Reload her. Second CT still there on the site. Mac 10 trying to find anything he can. They again turn away from those flashes as Oxygen starts peeking in. Sees the player at the back lines. Still can't find anything at all here towards the T-side forces. Finally, Crad catches him on the reload. Duplicate can trade it. 3 on 3.
Look how long.
Back on needs to get here. Oh, Rainwaker has found his angle and found 2 more kills. Third man now known towards the ramp control. Lackey's all alone. The CTs will back up here, but he's hunting for them.
He's got to get the bomb down, give yourself that extra security, but he doesn't know where Denny is. Both players coming out from long now.
Down to the default position. Where can he go with this? He'll look out towards that short presence. Oh, back away, sees his man burst through. Galil finally taps to the headshot, but Denny closes back the clutch that Rainwaker had started. Another one set in by him. and 11 for SKADE. Entropiq, that is the worst round to lose.
It really is, and that is impeccable timing for Rainwaker. So, as all of that long control was being taken by the D's, they had two players, Jay, looking out towards Longhouse, and as soon as that Mach 10 from Crad overwhelmed at the site, got that first kill and got traded, both of those players' eyes just turned away, and Rainwaker had the perfect backstab. What a shot coming through from Denny to be able to win that clutch overall, get SKADE up to 11. What a force by victory.
Not the first time they've won a force buy like that there in the second round of the half. In this series, it's happened several times for SKADE and Entropiq. Again, a major, major loss for them. A major back foot to be put on. The Eagle of Forrester. Looking with the nades back. Duplicate. Tied up a little bit. Is Nickelback trying to tanking all the nades. SMG trying to take face out here towards short. Forrester. Let's do some damage. Oxygen tag to 57. That's as far as it goes.
The MP9s have got to be careful about how aggressive they get and that they're not getting baited into a bit of a trap play because, for the most part, Forrester's just alone at short.
I've got to turn back towards long control, I imagine. Denny's out towards car. Need to receive them. They're going to walk right past it, not check that car angle. They'll still only get one frag for it on the CT AK. So, 4 versus 3. Entropiq have the advantage. This flash forward from Duplicate, though. Doesn't go ahead of the smokes for it. He waits back.
And they're waiting for the Rap to come in for the short position, try to keep eyes on, but the T's, they haven't even got the bomb down just yet.
The Eagle facing in towards short, finally dealt with. Forrester to fall. So players walking up as the bomb should get planted. Duplicate SMG, jump facing, looking on, seeing the one player. Can't catch the headshot. Bomb will be secured. This M4 boost up, looks towards the back. Crad gets catching the man. Oh, Duplicate. Okay. Alien Scout caught back. Double up for the SMG, but not quite the turnaround for the triple. That honor goes to the AK. Goes towards Crad. Entropiq find the 7th.
What is going on with some of these rounds? Pinnacle's like, yeah, don't know who to favor here. SKADE up the lead, but now we go back and forth for a little bit. Double eco status again. We'll see another force buy in. Nice little jump up there with the MP9 for Duplicate, but it was really when ships fell where that whole round, the numbers game, they were just in the disadvantage.
Kelly would be proud, wouldn't he?
Definitely.
Unfortunately, he didn't quite win the round for the CTs, but Duplicate could do so right here. 2 good shots out with the Eagle, not quite able to make it a third. Trade involved for Crad's part, but SKADE at the man advantage now.
Oh, they could be able to recover one of those weapons. If they try and just sandwich in Crad, oh, they've given the information away to the HE, though.
Oh, Rainwaker turns back towards Crad as well, lands another Deagle shot. 2 players left for Entropiq, Alien and Nickelback. The players left for Entropiq's part, trying to play their way in towards that long control. Might get heard out by Oxygen. Denny and Rainwaker could be tradable, but AK starting to fall to the hands of the CD side line. Alien, pick on the Denny. He's low HP. Looks back in against Oxygen. Tags him low as well. Continues facing. Continues trying to find a small pixel angles to work with against them. Ships gets his kill in, and Alien's got it all to do in the 1 versus 2 clutch. Not going to happen. SKADE steal another from Entropiq.
SKADE will be in a position where they say, if we continue going back and forth, we don't really care. We're up 12-7. If it just keeps happening, we're going to win the series. We've got the advantage. Oh, my goodness. How long can this go on for? Ships, a great double for him. Even being able to save both of those AKs in the end. Remember, Ships at the back end of that last round, chucked one of those AKs back towards spawn, picked up the other one to allow his teammate of Oxygen to get it.
AK in for Forrester. Denny Slaw trades it. Picked up by the likes of Lackey, but he drops as well. USP in for Denny, not quite the ideal weapon to utilize in this case. Nickelback can actually trade back to a 3 versus 2. So once again, Entropiq trying to hold their own, but it's been a struggle to get these trades to their favor.
Ooh, do they check this car angle? Ship's actually going to peek out before it happens, and Nickelback follows up with a triple.
Big plays from him. Rainwaker now with all to do again. Nickelback will be the first player to face, so it could be an easy kill against the AK, but all 3 players crossing at the right moment as Rainwaker's caught looking the wrong way. Bomb plant will be secured, and Entropiq should get to 8.
Yeah, Rainwaker, does he have a go at this? They know they're going to be double eco anyway. Would be nice to save onto her from us, but You do allow Entropiq to get up to 8, and it is seeming that in this second half with some of these back and forth rounds, it's pretty much who is making the bigger play, which individual is stepping up for a multi-kill is pretty much converting the round, and in that one, Nickelback was really able to show a bit of something.
Yeah, well done to him. I think that single AK brought into this round here for Entropiq, and now they found 2 more on top of it. So all that firepower that was saved in by the CTs brought right back in. T-side line just start to give a little bit of a jump start to the economy. Back into buy status here for Entropiq for the time being.
Yeah, SKADE. I guess for both of these teams, they don't want to be in this sort of situation. You want to get the rifles forward, but there's no point giving up, is there? You might as well just, if you're on double eco status, don't just allow the double eco to come through. You keep forcing it until literally one of these 2 teams is going to win 2 in a row.
But they need to try to go for the wall bangers against Alien, but Alien's been winning out these scout shots more consistently for Entropiq. Positions back towards that long control, sees that smoke going down, knows that they're out there. Can't find an angle. They're very passive here at the T side.
Hey, I'm seeing some rotations, though, out towards the A side from SKADE, just stacking it up, getting Rainwaker being boosted up from the elevator position. Entropiq, just everyone out towards long in this round.
Util smokes, Molotov's in, smokes down towards Cross, and Duplicate still somehow finds a kill by spamming his Deagle through that smoke. Forrester caught off guard in a 4 versus 4, and again, Entropiq are forced to slow down.
And there's still so many players on A, and you're right about Entropiq just running the clock. They've got some util to work with, so they can get those cross smokes in. They're waiting for another phase, though. They're waiting for the CTs to overextend.
Smokes on that cross at long last. Almost at a plot for Krad's part. Good look at... I mean, there's a gap in that smoke, but it's not to be. Flash is also catching off CT vision. They'll spray through, do damage. Or get kills on the likes of Krad. The bomb should cross, and Nickelback does find Duplicate. So, 4 versus 3. Ships boosted up with his Deagle play. Sees the player in the back lines. Good effort, but not to be. Krad and Lackey, those 2 picks back, leaving it all on Rainwaker. No clutch for you today, my friend. Neither the bottom of Entropiq. Restarting to grind things back here on the T side here, Dweg.
Yeah, it's all about just being able to get into the rifle round, start putting pressure on SKADE. They've still got the advantage of 3 rounds. They're going to be on a harsh eco at the 2400 loss bonus, so won't see many upgrades coming in at all. But for Entropiq, it does feel like for them, they're not going to go down without a fight, and they've actually got a decent chance of trying to keep this close towards the back end of Dust 2.
SKADE were looking so dominant off the back of the first half, but now things are starting to get a little bit better for Entropiq. And I guess it is the T-side effect, but still a lead held together by the SKADE side. Forrester, Elian pick up those 2 kills, those 3 kills, those 4 kills in the mid position. And well, this goes about as well as Ecos go for the CT side. Deddy, 1v5. Just got to hold on and just try not to concede any more kills back to Entropiq.
Yeah, if they can somehow filter in Forrester, then great. But really, for Entropiq, you're in a situation where you just leave Forrester to be the last guy to go in with the pack, because there's no point having that risk of another player falling. A couple of taps coming through for the USP out from long. Getting close onto Lackey, but not close enough. Double digits now being found by the Entropiq side. But for SKADE, opportunity to get the rifles forward and AWP out for Denny.
A nice effort with the USP, but again, very unlikely he was going to get that pick back. So now guns can be afforded here by SKADE. Simple stuff for Entropiq. Within 2 of the CT side. 12 to 10. Ops in, the M4's out. AKs across all players for Entropiq, and Oxygen finds 2 kills on that long challenge. One of which is his teammate, so unfortunately it leads to a 2-for-1 trade. Entropiq, mad advantage gained.
Yeah, not the best of circumstances at all, and it seems like pace is only being increased. Ships is the only player out to be.
Leon leaning up. Ships gets 1 good trade in against Forrester, but as you mentioned, the only player on that B half of the map, and so far aggressed out towards mid. As he falls in mid, there's no one left there. AWP for Denny. hoping there's something somewhere down that that mid control to that B doors, but I imagine it's probably a safe call now for SKADE. Mistakes were made, and now not much left here for this round.
It must have been him being flashed or just trying to spam through the smoke and just got a little bit of an unlucky timing with his teammate, but it doesn't help the fact that that just gave up a 4-on-3 advantage as early as it did. Allowed just instant trade to come out towards that mid position. And for Ships, he has to make a play. He has to swing out because there's no way he can just play deep and passive into the B side. He's just going to get overwhelmed. At least that way, try and swing out where they're still clearing their angles. They're still kind of get their util forward. Elian trying to fake flash with an aid, trying to see if he can get some sort of turnaround to come through for Denny, and still hits the shot.
Taking as many rifles away from SKADE as possible. 1 AK staying in for Rainwaker. That's it. And Entropiq are really grinding this back. Really grinding this back now. 4 in a row. The rounds in a row that we never saw from them in the first half. The momentum that we never really got to see capitalized upon. Entropiq struggled to get that throughout the entire first half. And now it's SKADE that struggled to get much on the board here. Another half buy involved with upgrade pistols, but not a round that you can really expect them to win.
I guess the difference between the respected halves is that SKADE's economy just isn't there. At least Entropiq had money behind them in just the way that the rounds were being played out. But it seems like because we've gone back and forth and because they're losing some of these early gun rounds, that the money is just, it's in turmoil. And you're in a spot where Rainwaker's got an AK, trying to get boosted up for mid, trying to see if they can find some impact. But for the most part, just spamming. It is a deagle kill to start off, though.
All right, Duplicate, any more? Running pixels against Nickelback and the player out of the elbow in Forrester, but Nickelback picks up the kill, lucky to follow suit. Rainwaker with the only rifle involved here. Does find Crad at least, so 3 versus 3. And 2. Back towards the bomb plant, or the bomb carrier. Over at the elbow position, Denny. Edge of the smoke, caught back by Lackey. So back to evens will go, but it's still got an AK to deal with. And a pistol out here, catches Lackey, such low HP. Nickelback. 1 on 2. SKADE turn this around again with just basic pistols in play. They don't know that he's walked out here towards ramp. Rainwaker could be in for a rude awakening. Well, that bomb could just go down.
Nickelback's thinking about the chance here. Rainwaker coming very, very quickly into the ramp position. The bait out from the short angle. Try to pull the distraction to allow Rainwaker to find 3 in the round. And honestly, Jay, if I see SKADE winning another eco, I think I'm just going to cry at this point because there's been so many opportunities for Entropiq to get extra rounds, to push themselves on the right foot, and they're losing to the most basic of weaponry.
God, please, SKADE, win another eco. Lose this next round and win the round after that.
Let's see it happen.
I just want to hear Dwayne cry on stream. It will be so funny. But you're right. Entropiq have hit some major roadblocks in this half. Even though they have brought it back, like, how do you lose an eco like that? They had 1 AK, upgrade pistols, not even Kevlar around 3 of the players involved. And credit to Rainwaker because he really brought it back from the brink. Ultimately becoming the round winner. But again, like, how did you not deal with this player? And how does the weapon advantage not come to your favor? All questions they'll be asking themselves as Forrester does open up this round. Nickelback naded out of the blue box corner. Oxygen with a counter smoke as they escape long. They've got that opening frag.
It's a bit of a shame there for SKADE with all that chip damage that they were able to do with the utility of the incendiary, the HE, even the spam. They don't get more out of it. There is an AWP towards the back of plat. Very, very passive coming in for Ships. And for Entropiq, they are starting the rotation in from T-spawn, and so are the CTs. They are leaving long completely now.
And they've seen nothing in the last few moments. There was a lot of presence out there, a lot of aggression. Some noise will be made out by Nickelback to try and draw their attention back towards it, but a flashbang's in towards tunnels. Not indicate a real A hit. The 3 players are up there now. And there's 3 to receive on the B side with 1 to cut them off at mid.
I have a feeling that there was some really unfortunate timing for Entropiq. They had the AWP looking down from the top mid position that didn't see the majority of players move out towards that B side. Can they make the right read and not run into the gamble, though?
Oxygen's heard nothing. Now their footsteps must have been heard towards short, right? They start a rotation? No, they don't. Utility being thrown out here. I think SKADE are going to go for the retake or the save call off the back of this. Out the Molotovs towards the site. Oxygen's going to get here towards that short flank. Lucky doesn't win the fight. That's 2 kills for Oxygen. Back to the man advantage of SKADE.
Oh, you go for it now. It seemed like Oxygen just wanted to try and see if he could create something. Might even be able to follow up onto Crad getting so aggressive.
Smoke clears up. Oxygen just get traded. So back to the even standing. 3-on-3. Crad going to regress pretty far forward as well. He is one of the tagged up players. I mean, everyone's really tagged up here for Entropiq. Everyone's on 100 for SKADE. Only 1 kit in for Rainwaker, and he falls alongside Denny Still. Nickelback and Forrester. Simultaneous kills coming in, and now Ships has got to run away with it. Orp in his hands, a 12th to the board of Entropiq. Recovery there against the SKADE retake.
Just a very good mid-round call coming through, even seeing a bit of a hunt coming onto SKADE. So Ships might fall with the NWP. Crad is eventually going to fall, so Ships does hold on to the AWP. Nickelback going to try the same, but he's running out of time. It's just not going to be there at all. SKADE, though, finding some difficulties of closing here on CT. Their lead is getting small, and it's getting to a point now where we could just expect a tied-up scoreline in the next round.
Or an eco win for SKADE. That could also work pretty well, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
With the way that this game has been going, you really never know. Set in with what seems to be a AWP setup for Ships' part. The Eagles PT50s again. That 1 rifle around upgrade pistols for SKADE. They've got enough money to go back for a decent buy-up. What was boosted? Deagle up towards top mid, and they have no idea. They've let it stick past. Only 1 frag for trouble though. Forrester with the trade.
It's a decent start with the aggressive move from the City side, but it gets punished pretty quickly. Trade comes back in. The AWP is out from mid from Ships. How does he take a contact?
Shot on. Lucky gives him up the kill towards the mid control. They're not ready for Xbox though. PT50 up close. Great flashbang in for the CT side. Could have been great, but it blinds up Dennis, so he can't get a kill back. Forrester faces in. He also takes damage. 2 players extremely low, and now they're leaning towards the B play. What can Rainwaker do? Very, very awkward off angle. His teammate inbound grabs that AWP, now looks in. What can the 18-year-old do? Great shot on the first player. Deagle back for the second. Forrester dealt with by Rainwaker. And SKADE have stolen an eco, Dweg. They have stolen an eco to make you cry. Entropiq just can't catch a break, can they?
Watch out for the social media post. I'll be crying at some point, but oh my goodness. It has happened again. A really great just retake and rotation coming through to have the information to peek out from mid from Ships, get that one-on-one trade. The off angle was absolutely perfect for the Deagle, but then the AWP was there on the bait and switch too.
Such a great played situation there in the 2v3. That's really what led towards their victory for me. Again, that AWP saved in for Ships did so much as well. Double AWPs in for Entropiq, because at this point, when you've run out of strategies to get confidence above SKADE, just bring out 2 big greens. Ships getting caught for damage early on. Forrester got something to return back towards it, but it's just damage, no kills. Same on Duplicate and Crad.
They're waiting for the B split in towards the B side itself, but it seems like it's a little bit more of a fake from Entropiq. Put that util down, try and see if they could drive the rotations out. There's no one on A right now for SKADE.
On a wrap back over. T-side players start looking up and into short presence. The 2 players also out towards long. They've got Oxygen with the AUG. Set on the angle as Nickelback starts looking forward, sees his man, gets a decent shot off Oxygen, gets the kill in the first and the second. Crad also spotted, he's also just as low, but the trade's inbound for the T-side to a 3-on-3. Denny Slaw still set, ready towards that long control as the tunnels aggression starts coming in, but they've gained a line in towards that mid to B play, so they can walk up there.
If they go in towards tunnels, they're dead. They go out mid to B, this could be a B side.
They're not going to check Rainwaker. No, they do check Rainwaker. It's an awkward spray that does get Crowd to drop the bomb, but 17 seconds, and now Alien's going to cut them off in the mid position. Good kill on Duplicate, but Denny has seen the player to cross, can't land his AWP shot, but now 1v2, Kits in mid. Got to deal with Alien first and foremost. AWP v AWP battle goes the way of the T side. Triple up for the man. And Entropiq just going back and forth against SKADE.
Oh my goodness, I really thought Rainmaker was just going to end that round. What a great hard check coming through for the T side. Yeah, the kill didn't come in instantly, and it did mean a one-for-one trade had to come through, but everything was just so down to the T. As soon as they get that trade out in the upper tunnels, Alien's waiting for the rotation to come back out from CT. Oxygen actually just getting that no-scope tagged up by the AWP, only getting away with a couple of kills. And SKADE, well, they're going to force it up here. They don't want to play for 14-14.
In a round like that, you start to wonder whether or not, you know, there's some sort of difference that could be made there for SKADE to be able to finally get to that map point and that match point as well. AK, AWP, I should say, set in for Denny. Alien's waiting for a very, very tight angle to be crossed up on for the CT side, and Denny's just not even going to attempt fate. He knows that this might be set up here for Alien. Hoping he can find some sort of extension, but seeing nothing at all.
Yeah, both AWPers know this duel. They know this sight line, so unless there's a flash or unless there's some util, no one's going to peek.
You can see Alien has been the better man when it comes to duels against Denny. 8-3. Could make it 4, though. Denny turn away from the flashbang. He's going to try to bait him in a little bit more aggressively. Find Crad instead. Finally see Lackey get that kill. Back in towards Crad with a quick scope on Nickelback. Not quite as successful, but that's what Chips is there for. Trade on the man. Spray through to the bomb carrier. 25 points if Elvis Forrester starts walking out towards the B side. Could find a flank involved. But it's still a 4 versus 2 for SKADE.
They're giving them a lot of respect, though. They're not over-aggressing in towards the side. Ships are just waiting for the information. 30 seconds left on the clock. Entropiq have got to get this bomb crossed.
Yeah, I think he knows that Forrester's out there. Now Molotov's going to give up the game. Flash forward as well. Catches Ships. Blinded. Orb shot for Duplicate. Close, but no cigar. Still Ships wins that fight. Nickelback very alone. Gets the pick back. Taps the bomb again. Trying to force the CTs forward. Look for Duplicate, but no. The Orb pick lands. And it's 15. Match point at long last. And it's back and forth affair without the bomb plant this time has broken the money. The banks of Entropiq are completely empty.
Jeez, the money is so bad. So in the dumpster, in the pits for the money line. And Denny, just the confidence. As soon as he gets that shot, you think he's going to fall back, and he just keeps peeking in. He's having a joy there at CT.
A force in for Entropiq this time to claim it all. And try stay alive with 2 match points to make up. AK, Galil, Scout, Tech 9, Deagle. That's everything. Flash is set over. Orpa Denny. Get forced opposition back here towards the long challenge, and Oxygen is holding back towards that flash position in the corner angle. Takes that 1 frag and that second. Drops the bomb. They do lose Denny in turn, so with that trade on Oxygen, it's a 3v3.
Krad's thinking about aggressing out towards that short position, trying to catch one of the CTs off guard. Maybe catch Duplicate looking out to long. Forrester
just full sending up here. Duplicate's M4 held alongside Ships' AK. No one's lurking in the mid. They've got that short play. They've seen the one-man crossing. Facing them, Ships getting closer and closer to landing a pick on towards that man. Nade damage done as Rainmaker starts facing on short, but he has no info to the short presence that the T-side have. He'll start peeking now as the bomb goes down. Swing out, sees no heads, sees no players, sees no contact. Finally sees Crad, gets that shot in. Forrester also been detected. Rainmaker with 2, and Alien with the AWP picked up. Got to go thermonuclear here. He gets that first kill, and no more than that. It will be 16 for SKADE as they take the 3rd of Dust 2 and progress forward to the quarterfinals.
It wasn't an easy result. There is no other way of putting it, but a win is a win. They progress further into the bracket. And for a team like SKADE, they've upset Entropiq in the past. They've done it again today.
Indeed they have, and for Entropiq, just the awkward stumbling through this tournament has just continued to come to a head. We talked about how their Swiss stage was not as confident for a team that you would expect to be. I think they're a top 15 at the moment in the world. So in terms of where they should be, like they should be making this match relatively easily. So seeing them fall out of favor here today, Dwayne, like what was it that was missing for Entropiq? You mentioned some of the riflers during the pre-game. Do you think that also applied here in this series?
Nah, man, you can't even put it on the individuals. Just so much sloppiness. They lost 4v1s. They lost to, I think I counted 5 ecos in this best of 3. Just seemed like it was an off day, that they just weren't playing to their strengths at all. And you can't blame it on the sharpness or some of the individuals not finding impact. It comes down to the whole team complacency, just really being at a poor level in this best of 3. And for SKADE, hats off to them because they brought it forward and they were the better team in this matchup today.
I'm not sure whether an off day is really the right way to describe it, though, Dwayne, because if you go by that logic, they've had off days a lot of times over the course of Pinnacle Cup. So do you think that maybe this grind is starting to get to them and maybe they might benefit from the player break?
Yeah, I think so. I think we heard from Hooch a couple of weeks ago saying that they just want to have that player break, take some time off, just refresh, because we know that both these teams, these guys have been grinding hard this year. They've been playing a lot of events, a lot of tournaments, a lot of maps, but it gets to a state where maybe enough is enough. And for the Entropiq side, early exit here in Pinnacle, it's going to start their campaign in the player break. Not the result that they would have liked, but yeah, disappointing for them, to say the least.
Well, it is what it is at the end of the day, and the bracket will show that SKADE are moving forward into those quarterfinals to take on Forza in tomorrow's quarterfinal matches. But we look towards a break because we've got to get swiftly onto our final series of the day, I should say, our second series of our two shift. Ents taking on Harvu. The battle of the Finnish teams will be back after this short break, so do not go anywhere as the Pinnacle Cup rolls on after this.